Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi out here. It's Friday morning, and the Raptors have no rest. They had to play last night, and they got on a plane immediately and went to New York after the game. And they're playing today against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Two more games to go in the regular season. And well, they've gotten half the four-game win out done with the sweep of Miami at home last night. And it was a fantastic game. We're going to react to that. But first, I want to stay in the present and we're going to preview the game tonight so that everybody can get set up for Raptors at Knicks. Game 5 of the season. The Knicks have won 4 out of the games, all 4 of them so far. This is the last chance for the Raptors to get a win against the Knicks in the regular season this year. And, it'd be nice to finally end this winning streak that they have against us. So, yeah, this is game number 5 against New York for the season. And it's the last chance to get them. Let's get them. Let's get them. All right, let's go look at some things for the game. First of all, injuries for the Raptors. Trace Jackson Davis was a late scratch yesterday from the game due to an illness. So he was sick yesterday. So it's dubious whether TJD will be available to the Raptors for today's game. So either way, just a note of that. The ESPN matchup predictor is given 66% chance that the Knicks are going to win this game. So it's like 2/3 of chance that they think they're going to win. Hopefully we can change that and jump in that other 33% where we have the chance to win. I'm expecting the regular lineup for the Raptors just like last night. It's going to be interesting to see that Pirtle and Quickly are not resting today. At least I hope they aren't. I mean, we want to play all out. Let's go ahead and send everybody there to play. And, well, if they have to limit their minutes as the game goes on, but maybe we get the initial start with everybody all hands on deck. And, yeah, we'll have to see. Quickly grimacing on his feet last night at times during the game, if you noticed, coming off the court and very evidently in pain. Very evidently in pain. So we commend you, IQ, for playing through your injury right now to end the season to help our record. The Knicks, on the other side, have Tyler Kolek listed as out due to a right oblique strain. So the backup point guard, the young point guard for the Knicks, may be the only player out for them. He is day-to-day officially. The starting lineup for the Knicks is the one they've had most this year. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, the Villanova triumvirate, OG Anunoby, and Cat at center. Off the bench, their rotations looking like this. Miles McBride is back. Landry Shamet, Jordan Clarkson, Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, Mohamed Diawara, Ariel Hookporty, Trey Jemison III, Pacome Dadier, and Jeremy Sohan. That's kind of the guys that are available to them off their bench. How have the Knicks been doing? Well, they did play last night, just like we did. And they were playing at home, though, so they didn't have to travel anywhere last night. But they the Celtics in Madison Square Garden last night by 6. So, and they're on a 4-game winning streak currently right now, New York Knicks. So, yeah, well, they've got 2 more games. They've got us, and then they host Charlotte on Sunday in the last day of the season. So maybe we can, change this winning streak that the Knicks have against us right now. We are playing at a very good level, and there was eye-opening performance from Brandon Ingram last night that could possibly make us a very interesting team in the postseason. If we can have this evolved Brandon Ingram be consistently there for us, that would be a big deal. Seriously. All right, let's go look at the referees for the game tonight. We've got in the replay center, CJ Washington, Derek Collins, Jenna Schroeder, Carl Lane, and Musa Dagger will all be in the replay center in New Jersey. And then in New York City, well, thankfully, they didn't give us Scott Foster. No, he's in Indiana. They didn't give us Ed Malloy. He's in San Antonio. They didn't give us Tony Brothers. He's in Sacramento. No, they gave us Curtis Blair as our crew chief today, and I'm very happy about that. Curtis Blair is a ref that I trust for the most part. Number 74 out of Roanoke, Virginia, his 18th season. His favorite TV show is Dexter. He likes the movie Grease. He likes to listen to Casey and JoJo. He eats lamb curry. He most like to visit Brazil, and his hidden talent is tennis. The Virginia native graduated from the University of Richmond with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. That's right. Curtis Blair is the best ref today for the Raptors. We lost the last game he ref. We've only had him twice this year. We're 1-1 with Curtis for the season. And, well, we win 57% of our games in the history of the Raptors and Curtis Blair. Meanwhile, the Knicks only win 44% of their games. So 57-44 for the road Raptors with Curtis Blair in Madison Square Garden as our head ref today. So this is not a bad ref to have running the show for the Raptors, yo. I'm just going to say that. Curtis Blair is a very fair ref. I like Curtis. The second ref is Sean Corbin out of Baltimore, Maryland, his 31st season. He's been reffing in the league as long as the Raptors have existed, number 33. His favorite TV show is Mission Impossible, and I'm going to guess that's the old one with Peter Graves, not like a new show or anything like that. He said TV show, so he means like the old school 60s Mission Impossible show. Yeah, back in the day. His favorite movies are Godfather series, Godfather 2. He likes to listen to Huge Groove. His favorite book is Why Does Everything Have to Be About Race? His favorite meal is steak and lobster. His favorite app is News. He'd most like to visit Singapore. His bucket list is to drive cross country in an RV, and his hidden talent is cooking. Sean Corbin officiated 4 years in the CBA and 9 years in the collegiate ranks with stints in SEC as well as Big East, Metro Atlantic Athletic, Mid-Eastern Athletic, and Southern Conferences. He also has 4 years of high school officiating experience. Yeah, Sean Corbin is a ref we've had twice this year also. We are 1-1 with him as well, and we did lose the last game that he refed. We win 53% of our games in the 31 years. That's a really good percentage for all 31 years of Raptors basketball. You got to figure Sean Corbin has been reffing since our inaugural year in 95. And the whole entire history of the Raptors, he has been a 53% winning for us. So he's been a winning ref for us the whole entire franchise history of the Raptors. And that's not easy to do considering there were some really bad years in there. And our franchise record for our team is 47% winning, and he's 53%. So he's been a ref that's been helpful to us over the history of our team. The Knicks, meanwhile, in that 31 or so years, is 43% winning. So we have the advantage with the second ref, 53-43 for the Raptors with the referee Sean Corbin. The third ref is Biniam Maru. He is a rookie ref, a literal rookie ref. First year refereeing full-time, number 94 out of Chicago, Illinois. His favorite TV show is Martin. He likes the movie Inception. He listens to DMX, y'all. His favorite book is The Millionaire Next Door. He likes sushi. His favorite app is ESPN. And he most like to visit Ethiopia. Yeah, Biniam Maru at NBA All-Star 2025 in San Francisco refereed the G League Up Next game and the NBA All-Star Celebrity game. Yeah, Biniam is a rookie, and he's only reffed the Raptors twice ever. And they both times happened this year. And we lost both games. So we're 0% winning with Biniam, 0-2, 0%. And meanwhile, he's reffed the Knicks to a 67% winning percentage, where they win 2 out of 3 games when he's available. So 0-67% is the split for the Knicks with the rookie ref, Biniam Maru. Yeah, so there's your 3 refs. It's not bad. You got Curtis Blair, you got Sean Corbin, and then Biniam. This ref crew could be so much worse. In some ways, this is the kind of ref crew that will piss off the New York fans. I'm telling you right now. Seriously, Curtis Blair is a really, really honorable ref. And he's not going to be calling stuff just from the pressure of the crowd. Watch. And he won't be calling stuff just because it's expected the home team to get all kinds of favorable calls. He's not going to do that. Watch. I just know him as his psychology. And Sean Corbin, he's the same kind of way. So I like the mentality of the top two refs in this one. Now the rookie ref, he's a knucklehead. We'll just have to see how he does. Part of the problem is being Maru has been kind of ref in G League and regular NBA, and he's kind of not a good ref at times. He screws calls up all the time. So we'll just have to see how he does today. And hopefully he's not doing any screwy stuff where he's going off script against the senior refs and trying to screw over the Raptors with dumb calls, because that could happen. And well, it may very well be that veteran ref Corbin is coming over and teaching Biniam a couple of things about how to ref in the NBA correctly. That could happen tonight. Watch. Yeah. See if the Raptors freak is right. Predict this kind of stuff. All right. We got our Commissioner Fun. Trevor Jay is in the house. Let's see what he's saying this morning. The words of wisdom. Anger kills wisdom. Fear kills freedom. Ego kills love. Jealousy kills peace. Doubt kills faith. Live your life with faith every day, because that's all you need is faith. Faith kills. Doubt kills faith. But faith kills everything else. Is that what we're saying here? Faith kills anger. Faith kills fear. Faith kills ego. Faith kills jealousy. Faith kills doubt. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Reverse it. Let's say wisdom kills anger. Let's say freedom kills fear. Let's say love kills ego. Let's say peace kills jealousy. Let's say faith kills doubt. Yeah, let's go the other way with it. I like that. You can look at it from either perspective. And one of them, whichever one games it better for you. That's right. Yeah, I like it. I like it. In some ways, flipping it makes it more optimistic. Let's get wisdom to kill anger. I like that. Blessings to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah, I like that. Trevor Jay's brought up that Brandon Ingram's most points by any player in the first season with the Raptors in franchise history. 1,614 passing, Mike James and Kawhi. Yeah, that was unexpected little trivia blurb in the middle of the game yesterday, that they announced at a certain point that Brandon Ingram had outscored Kawhi Leonard in his single season as a Raptor. That's pretty impressive if you think about it, guys. Kawhi was such a superstar his 1 year with the Raptors, being a finals MVP and a champion, that Brandon being healthy enough and being consistent enough to acquire the amount of points that he did this season is very much a great achievement. It's a great achievement. I mean, if you'd asked us last year at this time, with the mystery around Ingram and his acquisition and how he sat out the second half of the season, we didn't know what to expect from him. We were talking about, is he going to be like a Olajuwon? Is he going to be like an Otto Porter? Is he just going to show up and he's just going to kind of get money and hang out and not really put his effort and anything into it, and it's just going to be a shell of himself? No, by far that is not true. And especially with the evidence of last night, this man worked hard all year, stayed healthy, and now he's got the achievement of scoring the most points ever in the first year of a Raptor. He's not the most points ever in a season for a Raptor, but he's the most points as a first-year Raptor ever. And I was surprised to hear that Mike James actually was higher than Kawhi also, the Amityville Horror. Yeah, these guys are interesting guys, James and Leonard, because they really only played one season for the Raptors each. And Mike James is somebody that gets glossed over and forgotten about a lot in the history of the Raptors, because, his year was not a very good year, but he was really carrying our team for that season as our main scorer. The fact that he outscored Kawhi Leonard for his season. Yeah. And now Brandon has outscored both of them. And this is a huge, huge accomplishment. This is a huge accomplishment. He should be very proud. And honestly, Brandon's super impressing me since I called him out earlier this week. And I have to apologize even further today. In fact, I'm going to talk about Brandon Ingram today in a very detailed, in-depth way about what he did last night, because last night was special. And there's certain things about what he did last night that are telling me that, you know what? People are sleeping on how good this Raptors team could actually be if we really, really play to our ultimate full potential. Because in some ways, if you watch the way Ingram was moving last night, he was moving like Kobe. He was moving like Vince. He was moving like Kawhi. He was moving on a level of superstar that is unstoppable. And if he really wants to go and take over games and do whatever he wants, he can. And that's what I've been wanting from him in the weeks that he's been kind of down and not totally maybe 100% healthy with his heel. And also just kind of like going through the motions and maybe just scoring, but not doing much else on the court. Well, he's coming around with a full rounded game and also a premium level of superstar tier kind of play where he's untouchable, where he is like Leonard, he is like Carter at his peak on the Raptors when he was early on his career. He is like, his idol Kobe. There were things that he did last night that were very Kobe-esque. And if you think about it, it's like, whoa, that's like taking over the game. That's him getting in and initiating contact and getting foul shots. That's him working the shot clock down, and the shot clock's getting close, but he's got a move to make that he can get to a spot all by himself with no help from the other teammates. And boom, he's elevating and hitting the shot over his defender, and he's money. These are high level, top tier NBA elite skills that only a handful of guys in the league at any time have that kind of stuff. And it's if Brandon wants to become an undormant volcano and an active volcano of this kind of output and this kind of firepower and this kind of level of player, I'm here for it. I am here for it. And I will, tell the tale and praise the legends and enhance the story on this channel with my voice and talking about it glowingly. Oh yeah, I will tell your tale, Brandon Ingram. If you want to be a legend like somebody from the past, like Davy Crockett or something like that. You want to be a legend? You want to be a legend like Paul Bunyan? I'll tell your tale, Brandon Ingram. I'll tell your tale to the young Raptors fans and to all the people in the future too. So yes, there was a player on the Raptors named Brandon Ingram, and he was such a high level talent. He could do whatever he wanted on the court, and he could shoot over anybody's heads. Yeah, I'll tell your tale. I'll hype man you just like Flavor Flav for Chuck D. Oh, I'll do that real fast, Brandon Ingram. If you're gonna play at this level consistently, and you're gonna bring the Raptors up like Kawhi and Vince did in the past. Oh yeah, I will. I will speak you up. I will speak you up. I will make you. I will be like Bobby the Brain Heenan with Andre the Giant. That's right. I will talk for you, and I will put you up verbally in a way on this channel that everybody will be like, yeah, Brandon is like that. This man's a 6'9" Kobe Bryant. Yeah, we could do this, Brandon. We could do this. You're going to do this on the court? This is a reaction stream. I'll react to you playing like that. Oh, yeah, I'll gladly react to you playing like you did last night. And I'll tell the tale, the glorious tale of Brandon Ingram, top tier superstar in the NBA. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying this. Ingram displayed what he can do last night. And Darko said that now he sees what Ingram can do. So now he expects it from him now. The thing that I loved the most about last night, in some ways, other than the way Brandon played, was his after-game interview. Brandon, very humble, and like he's not resting on his laurels. Sure, he did something amazing last night. He had a 38-point performance. That was a top-tier superstar performance. But what did he say after the game? I love my coach. He holds me accountable. He tells me the things I need to hear to push me better. I'm evolving. I am evolving. This is the thing, man. This man's been in the league for 10 years. He's been in New Orleans. And, how much evolving can that happen down there? I mean, sure, in little bits, maybe on his own, a little bit from his coaches and teammates, but not in the kind of development whirlwind that Darko and the Raptors are. So you got to wonder, how long has Brandon's evolving been kind of stuck because of where he was on his team before he was this team? And then now all of a sudden he's seeing progress in all kinds of ways as far as elevating his game and well-rounding his game. Because it sounds like Brandon's very much into Darko criticizing him and saying, look, you got to go do harder on defense. You got to go in there and get for your teammates and pass it out too. And Brandon's listening. Brandon trusts Darko. Brandon trusts the Raptors. Brandon trusts his teammates. And Brandon trusts that if he listens to all of this, he will become the best player that he can be. And, some players like him, you look at somebody like Ben Simmons, not that I'm saying he's anything like him. How much did he listen to anybody around him? How much was he listening to anybody with all that talent? Ben Simmons. Nobody. He wasn't listening to nobody. There's a lot of players in this league that come in the league, get the bag, and say, yeah, I don't need to listen to anybody. I'm just cool. I'm just a badass. I don't need to listen to no one. I've got all these skills. I can play basketball. I've never had a problem playing basketball. I could play basketball since I was a little kid, and I'm still really good. I'm the best ever around anybody I'm around. There's a lot of that attitude in the NBA, honestly. So somebody to have their ego be able to lower down and say, you know what, coach, I'm going to listen to you because I trust you and you're going to push me to be the best version of Ingram that I can be. That's huge. And especially this late in his career, 10 years in. And he you know, I see it. There is levels that he can evolve to. You know, I talk about how Colin Murray-Boyles and Jacoby Walter are going to be elevating our team as they get better as young players. Yeah, they can get better. Obviously, Murray-Boyles is going to get better, and he can elevate our team to be a better winning and closer to the championship team, right? But a lot of us may not think that, you know what, Brandon could do that too, to an extent, even at his high level as a player already. He could polish things up. He could really get into the science of efficiency and doing all the right things at the right times and really expand some of the stat categories that he hasn't really totally focused on most of his career. Whether it is the rebounds, whether it is the assists, whether it is the blocks. The one thing that I'm really impressed with Brandon in the 2 games against Miami is just how much he played interior as far as in the lane on defense and just being another long arm person around to kind of stymie and make it difficult for the other team to score down low. That's not something he's done consistently all this season. But I like the fact that it's appearing right now at the end of the season, and maybe this will be a huge factor in the postseason. Because look, he can play a certain level of autopilot where, hey, I'm just going to take shots. I'm going to play with the flow of the game and just take the shots as they come to me. Or he can play with this attitude like he has the last 2 games and say, I'm going to go be an aggressive force on the court, and I'm going to go do what I want to do and what I know I need to do to ensure that the Raptors will win this game. And this is kind of what I've been crying out for when I was criticizing him earlier this season, is that I knew he could do this. I knew he could take over games because he did it against us when he scored 40 points against us on the Pelicans a couple years ago. Because he's done this at different times throughout his career where he is like an ultimate superstar like Kobe Bryant, and he can absolutely dictate and control the game. And it has to be a 4-quarter effort. It can't be like Brandon shows up, kicks some ass in the first quarter, and then he tries to do a little bit at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. No, it has to be something where he establishes himself in each of the quarters, and he's out there saying, yeah, I'm the best player on the court today, and I'm going to make shots that nobody else is going to make, and I'm going to be the leading scorer, and I'm going to control the tempo of this game, and I'm going to control the lead for my team to be up by double digits. That is superstar tier shit, and that is the stuff that Kobe Bean did. And that's why, in some ways, look, if Brandon can consistently find that energy night in, night out, like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, that's how he evolves to the next level. That's how he evolves to a place that will help the Raptors get closer to Larry O'Brien again. That's it right there. That's it right there. It's amazing stuff. It's amazing stuff. And I am going to speak to the high heavens, the glorious game that Brandon Ingram is. Glory to God. Glory, God be great. Oh my gosh. Thank you for blessing Brandon Ingram with these skills, God, and allowing him to be a vessel of pure basketball excellence in what he did last night. Holy cow. He was amazing. He was amazing, y'all. They're playing in these tonight in Madison Square Garden. I got my quickly on call 5. The white jerseys with the red chevrons. Let's see what happens tonight. Let's go, MSG. Let's go, Knicks. Just bring it, jabronis. Yeah, we're playing at a high level right now, and I'm ready to get in the ring with y'all because tonight is the night to play the Knicks the last time this season in the regular season. That's right. We may see y'all in the postseason, but for right now, we'll take the regular season game tonight. That's right. That is right. Yeah, Darko said now that Brandon's done this, he's told on himself, and he's going to expect a higher level of effort. And this is the accountability that Brandon wants Darko to have for him. That's right. We see you clear-eyed and clear-hearted, Brandon Ingram. We see you out there moving the way you're moving, and we like it. We like it. Raptors Nation, is going to be saying, yeah, the legend of Brandon, he'll be up there with people like Kawhi and Vince. And we'll covet you and we will protect you. And we will say things like, yeah, we want Brandon to be a Raptor for life. That's the stuff you get when you do this kind of stuff, Ingram. I'm telling you right now, that's the stuff you get. You get bona fide. And you get the Raptor freaks completely coming around you and standing around you like the Knights Templar guarding the Holy Grail. We will do that for you, man. In some ways, we are a secret society in Raptors fan nation. And if you are doing things on an excellent level, we will take you as precious and holy, and we will guard you. We will guard you in your name. That is part of what we do. That is our duty. That is our duty. Yeah, we will do this. We will do this. Medved Ted's in the house. He said, yeah, baby. Yeah, yeah. It's time to give the Knicks a reality check. Long overdue. I would like this. All right. I'm going to get my expectations aligned for the game tonight. First of all, we would love to win, obviously. If we can't win or we don't win, I want it to be as close as possible, and I want it to be a drag-out fight where it's just absolutely a back and forth, and it's so close that we just barely lost if that is how we lose. If we win, I want to just win. That would be awesome. But I want to see a good effort. I want this to be, unlike the Boston game on Sunday, maybe the best New York-Toronto game of the whole year where it is that close. And hopefully we come out on top with referee Curtis Blair and Sean Corbin around. That's what I want to see. I want at least see them compete to their highest level. And if the Knicks beat us, even though I'll hold my head up still and I'll say good things about them tomorrow, just as long as they put the right effort out and they really leave it all on the floor. Really leave it all on the floor. You guys don't have to play tomorrow. You'll get the Nets on Sunday. And, you know, if you do things right in these two games, you'll get a lot of time off next week to really rest up for a playoff series and not have to deal with the play-in around Tuesday or Wednesday. So there are things to do right now. And I would say tonight is a night you leave it all on the court. If Darko has to play some guys heavy minutes tonight to try and win this game, so be it. If he has to tighten up that rotation like he has been doing anyway recently, so be it. You got to do whatever you can do to try and win tonight with the premium level of talent and way that the Raptors can play tonight to beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden tonight. You got to do that. Lay it all on the line, get it all out there, and play your asses off like there's no tomorrow. Because honestly, in some ways you could act like that. You know, the Nets on Sunday against the Raptors at home, yeah, we're going to beat them. We're going to kick their ass for sure. But this one is a personal kind of like, yeah, we need to prove something here. We need to stop this streak that the Knicks have been running on us for a couple years now. We need to stop it now. And we need to do it tonight. That's what I'm saying right there. That's what I'm saying. Medved Ted's all about it too. A reality check coming their way real fast. That's right. Trevor Jay saying this. Why does Miami keep a players meeting indoors and still get the door kicked down? I don't want to make fun of the Heat right now. In some ways, there's a couple of things that happened in the last 24 hours where Raptors fans can be really ugly and act out of their ass. And it's kind of making me mad. Sure, Joel has an appendicitis. Joel is going to miss the playoffs. Sure, this is a prediction that Lex made last summer that has come true, but not in the way that I thought it would happen. As far as I knew Embiid would not be there for them in the playoffs some way, somehow for injury. But appendectomy was not on the bingo card. And in some ways, it smacks of, you know, OG Anunoby in our championship run. In some ways, I feel sad for the Sixers nation because I knew this was inevitable. And I don't like that, you know, some Sixers nations are getting a holier now towards us and saying, don't make fun of us for this. This is a sad tragedy. This man has a health problem. And Raptors fans and other fan nations are making fun of it and acting trashy about it. And I agree with that. You know, Joel's a big dummy, and he bugs me. We should yell timber every time he falls over on the court because he could hurt somebody like Danny Green. But at the same time, there's no reason for us to rub this in an inhumane way. And I would ask Raptors Nation to not make jokes about Joel Embiid and his appendectomy. Let's just go ahead and just let it be what it is. In some ways, we can breathe a sigh of relief because the Sixers are now not a serious championship contender for any kind of thing. And they'll probably be going out quick. It's sad in some ways. In some ways, it's sad for Sixers Nation, but it's also in some ways what happens when you do things cheaply and try and make shortcuts and try and do things in a really not the right way for many, many years, like the Sixers organization did with trying to tank and lose on purpose to get high draft picks and all this kind of stuff. This is just all what you get from it. You reap what you sow. And in some ways, I'm not going to make any classless jokes about Joel Embiid today. And I would ask Raptors Nation to lay off of it too, because this is the kind of stuff where our reputation gets bad stuff in a weird turnaround way because of the misfortune of other teams. You could talk about Kevin Durant twisting his ankle in the finals on Golden State and how they thought we reacted to him getting hurt when we cheered a Serge Ibaka basket, and they all got egocentric and thought we were cheering for an injury to Kevin Durant. We don't need this kind of energy. So please, Raptors Nation, casuals, nephews, everybody that's in Raptors Nation, lay off of the Joel Embiid jokes right now. They're just not classy. And in some ways, we don't need to open up that kind of energy in that kind of way, in any kind of way, coming around towards us. So let's be sad for the Sixers. Let's be not petty and stupid and make dumb, stupid, juvenile jokes that are unnecessary. Let's just understand the situation sucks for them. And in some ways, let's breathe a sigh of relief that the Sixers don't have no teeth now in a way for their playoff run. And that's just how it is. We can do this classy. So I would say this. Let's not make fun of the Miami Heat either, Trevor. I feel bad for them. There's something wrong with that team. In fact, I was telling people on the Discord last night, I think this is going beyond basketball because the way that the coaches looked on the court on the other side, people like Chris Quinn and Caron Butler and Eric Spoelstra's coaching staff, there's something deeper that they're sad about than just winning games, guys. There's something going on that team that we don't know about that's kind of very sad. And I don't know what it is exactly. I get the feeling from the energy that this has something to do with something medical for somebody that they care about that's in the Heat organization, that somebody is not well and they're scared and they're sad for that person. I don't know if it's Pat Riley. I don't know if it's Spoelstra himself. I don't know who it is, but there's something not right with the Heat right now. And it's not necessarily that they're young and inexperienced and don't know how to play right yet. It's something deeper than that, I'm getting the sense of. So we may hear some news after the season's over about the Miami Heat that is tragic and sad because the way that they're acting isn't just about basketball. Those guys over there are depressed and really in a bad place for some other reason other than just basketball. You don't get that messed up about basketball. You really don't. It's really weird. So I'm going to tread lightly on the Heat. They're in a tender place right now. You know, when we were in a bad place, you know, I don't like people coming in and gloating on us and saying, ah, ha, ha, your team sucks. You guys are so soft and losers and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. We got to be better winners, guys. And we got to stop making fun of our rival teams when they're in bad places, whether it's the Knicks, whether it's the Sixers with Embiid or whether it's the Miami Heat with their obvious problems with their franchise right now. You know, I don't want to do this. I don't want to rub it in. They had a players only meeting because they're trying to scramble and make the last little bit at the end of the season. But what is it? They can't. We're a better matchup against them. They can't do anything to us. We are a badass team compared to the Heat in this matchup all year. And that's why it's a 4-game sweep as of last night. So I want to be big. I want to be good winners. That's what the word is. I want to be good winners. I don't want to be poor winners that rub it in and make fun of the people we beat. I don't want to be poor winners and make fun of people that get injured. Let's be classy, Raptors Nation. And let's hold a higher standard, being above juvenile, immature, kind of like poking fun at people is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Jimmy's saying this. Congrats on Darko getting his 100th win. This is fantastic. This channel has been going for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in September. And we covered Darko from the start. We covered him when he got hired. He came into our chat and talked with us initially in the summer he got hired just to meet us and say, hey, Raptors Freaks, I'm Darko. And he did. He literally came into our chat and his name was in here and he was talking to us about what we wanted to see with the new Raptors team. It was amazing. Darko is a people person. And he's a very sociable guy. He's an amazing dude. And this is a great accomplishment. He goes into the certain percentage of the Raptors' history of coaches. They got 100 wins, which is like Lenny Wilkins, Nick Nurse, Dwayne Casey, uh, uh, Butch Carter. There's 5 of them now. The other 5 guys didn't get 100. Oh, Sam Mitchell, he got 100 wins too. Yeah, that's an accomplishment that he's one of the 100-win Raptors coaches, and it's 3 years to do it. And I'm proud of him, man. I'm proud of him. 45 wins this year, 30 and 25 in the years before, and that's 100. Yeah, he got the chain for this too. Obviously Brandon probably should have got the chain for his second consecutive game in a row against Miami, but they wanted to shower a coach with love. And Scotty putting the chain around Darko's neck last night, and Darko looked so jazzed, so happy. This is a great energy, a positive energy of celebration that hopefully they could take with them through on the plane and land in LaGuardia and get up and get to the through the airport and to their hotel at a good time and not too late last night. We'll have to see if there are any flight delays. Hopefully not this time, and that they get good rest and they're feeling some good energy from the 2 wins over Miami that carry over into a really good game tonight against the Knicks. Hostile environment, juiced up MSG crowd. Yeah, they're going to have to go in there, and tonight will feel like even more of a playoff atmosphere. And they have to meet that test and come in and meet that energy head on. And they can do it. I believe in them. I believe in them right now. Yeah, congratulations to Darko on 100 wins. It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. Many more to come. Just the first 100. Jimmy's saying this. Knicks coming off a tight win against the Celtics. Let's jump on them and throw the first punch. I believe. Yeah. Yeah. I like the way we've been starting games, even though last night we started flat. They started really well in the game last night, the Heat, of course, because they needed to, because they had to show something to their coach that they cared, and they're trying. And the Raptors were flat. We couldn't score. And the first 7 points were made by the Heat. And it looked kind of like, but you know what they did? This was really smart. They didn't hang their heads. They didn't get down on missing shots initially, because some of the shots they were working hard to get, and they weren't lazy. They were working really hard, and they didn't start outside. They did try and get inside to score their initial points, but they just didn't fall. Now, did they hang their heads? Did they let that bug them? No. What they did instead was they played extra harder, and they put more effort in, getting rebounds, getting loose balls, just fighting to get better high percentage shot close to the basket by not shying away from contact, but going straight at the contact and getting as close to the basket as they could. They kept doing that. They kept doing that. In some ways, it wasn't working for about 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes of the game. But they kept doing that. They kept doing that, kept working hard, even though they weren't successful, and it broke through. It broke through. That finally that hard work paid off, and the shots started falling again. And then it was game over for Miami then. Because like once the Raptors get themselves going, yeah, it's over for you guys. You're overmatched in this matchup. We just have your number. They really did try Miami an adjustment to feature their classic stars in the game last night by trying to get Adebayo and Hero going in that game. And they had some success. Tyler started hitting shots in the first half, and he looked like he was going to maybe be a dangerous player for the whole game. And what we know Tyler Hero is capable of. And Bam Adebayo was a little bit more demonstrative and trying to be aggressive and throw his classic weight and his size and his skills out there as an NBA veteran who has the second highest scoring total in NBA history. Yeah, they were trying. And to an extent, they were more successful in this Miami game last night than the first one, as initiating cornerstone key players of the Miami Heat giving contributions to try and help them win. But overall, that's the thing. Teams win by team's effort. And our team had a better overall effort coming from like 6 guys, and they had maybe 3 guys that were playing at a level to win. That's how you win sometimes, is you have contributors that are contributing in different departments overall. You got Brandon doing what he's doing. You got RJ doing what he's doing. You got Colin. You got Scotty. You got IQ and Jakob. They're all doing different things to contribute to lead up to the Raptors win, and it's a better team all-around contribution than what the Miami guys are giving up to give to help to try and win. And that's part of how we beat them. I mean, it was inevitable because in some ways we just match up so well with them. And we really do take away some of their best strengths that they can utilize against other teams and actually win on. But they can't do it against us. We're a horrible matchup for Spoelstra and the Miami Heat. And well, in some ways, they shouldn't feel humiliated and sad. It's just this is not a good matchup for y'all. And in some ways, this is just the way it is. You know, a lot of people saying they got to go to the drawing board. They got to have massive changes this offseason for Miami Heat. And that's probably true. That's probably true. They are going to have to change some things for them. For sure. For sure. Yeah. Jimmy's saying this BI, man, when he's on, no one can guard him. Should have had 40 if it wasn't for a ref not giving him continuation. Yeah. Yeah. They were a little bit sticklers there in the game last night. Josh Tiven was mostly pretty good last night. You know, he is really down the line. That's part of the reason why he took that shot away from us with the shed game winner last year that he took away from us. You know, the one play that really was interesting to me that he called last night was that Tyler Hero 3 that was right at the buzzer. And then the replay center and him went and analyzed it, and they struck 3 points off of their score in the first quarter, like early. And it's like, man, really being sticklers. Like they're like, yeah, this was kind of like the inverse. And maybe Josh Tiven showing Raptors fans, like, look, I told y'all Shed was a tenth of a second too late on his game winner last year. Well, look, I'm going to go and look at this Tyler Hero 3 in the corner, and I'm going to say, oh, it wasn't off his hand by the time the light came on. So that 3-point shot is negated. In some ways, that was a sign of good faith in a very delayed makeup call from a game last season. That they're like, yeah, look, Raptors fans, I'll go and review this 3 by the opposing team, and I'll take that points away too, just like I took away that game winner from Shed last year. And in some ways, I like that. I like that call. But Tyler got mad, and he instantly made a 3 right afterwards to make it back to 12 for Miami. Yeah, that was an interesting call right there. So there's a little bit of stickler kind of stuff there. The refs were pretty good, though. They were giving respect to our main guys. We got way more free throw shots than the Miami Heat last night. And we were getting superstar calls, not just for Brandon, because he was getting superstar foul calls. And that continuation, you're right. If he had gotten that, he would have gotten 40 for sure, Jimmy. You're exactly right. And he made a good argument to the ref, Josh Tiven, about where his arms were coming up, because he did try and get into shooting motion when that play that you're talking about happened. And in some ways, you know, they would give that to certain players, like maybe Luka or LeBron, maybe. But the refs were very much like, no, you just kind of tried to chuck it when you knew we were going to call the foul for you and just get into a shooting motion. In some ways, they're not giving players that kind of foul for shooting foul if they're really just like forcing a shot, and it's not a realistic shot because it's not natural shot kind of formation. They're just kind of chucking it as they get contact. So they don't fall for that. It's kind of like flopping on screens and stuff like Davion was doing last night. They didn't fall for it. They were like, yeah, you go ahead and lay on the ground, Mitchell. We're not blowing no whistles. So the refereeing's so weird these days. But the thing I will give them a lot of credit for was they were showing respect to RJ. They were showing respect to Scotty, and they were showing respect to Brandon as far as putting them on the line and giving them and ones and giving them foul shots. There's been so many times this year where our guys go into the lane, they're getting hacked every which way, and the whistles are just silent. And we saw more in the last 2 games against Miami, some favor as far as respecting the caliber of offensive player that Brandon, RJ, and Scotty are, and actually putting them on the line and giving them superstar foul calls. So there was a bit of that last night. So I have to give some credit to Josh Tiven's crew for that. I really should. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercey's here. Good morning to MJ. Good morning. Hang on. I jumped ahead. I want to make sure I read this. Geez. Wow. You guys fill it up. This is awesome. All right. Where is it? Okay. Fiercey's saying, good morning, fam, and happy back-to-back game day. Great words of wisdom, Trevor Jay. Living with faith and belief, everything will be fine. You know, it's a weird thing. Like the serenity prayer is so important. To understand what you can and can't control in your life is so important. Realize you have a lot more power in your life than you do, though. Don't limit your power. Understand that you can empower yourself and say, you know what, I can have control over this. I can control my attention and not give attention to this. I can control where I spend my money, and I'm not going to spend my money at this place anymore because my economics actually is a place where my voice is made, because where you spend your money is kind of like your voice, guys. And that's why boycotts and not using certain companies because of certain things is very smart, because we really can, as a collective, make like very strong statements against companies if we boycott them. So yeah, there's all kinds of ways we can empower ourselves, and look for ways that you empower yourself every day, and be looking for that, but also understand where the line is and where you can't control things, and let those things go. Let those things go. One of the main things that you can't control is the behavior of other people. And people that try to control other people all the time, well, they get failure in that all the time. So control yourself, control what you do and you say, and control what you can, and you'll be happier. Especially if you stop trying to control others. That's a big part right there. Fiercely, so good to see you in the chat always. Congrats to Darko and Brandon on their milestones. Yeah, it's just a great game, a fantastic win, and that, you know what, they could easily let down and maybe lost this game, but no, they're very professional. They came back with a good effort and they played at a high level, especially Ingram, especially Ingram. Fiercely saying my 5 stars in no particular order are Brandon, RJ, Scotty, Colin, IQ, and special mention to Jakob. Despite only 6 points, he is extremely valuable in his screens and matching up against Adebayo's physicality. Yeah, Yak is underrated for sure. It's so funny because people that know basketball and study basketball, people like Jack Armstrong, Alvin Williams, Leo Routens, people that really know basketball know just how valuable and amazing Jakob Poeltl is. But Bleacher Report and ESPN, and they'll say his contract's so bad and stuff like that. But they got to realize he's a rare commodity in this league. Sometimes you have to pay for players that are his type a little bit more than you think you would, because there are not many players like him around. And I wish Raptors Nation would realize that. You can see just how powerful Yak is to help our offense just from screening, just from setting picks and letting people run around him to get open. It's so valuable, so valuable. And maybe he's a step slow to get to some places, but he's also an extremely good rebounder and defender in a lot of different ways too. I mean, yeah, let me do my 5 stars of the game since Fiercey has brought it up. We'll start with the stars of the game. Obviously, Brandon Ingram is my number 1 star of the game for last night. He was electric. 37 minutes, 38 points. Outscored his minutes, man. 38 points. And he should have gotten 40. I was hoping he'd get 40. In some ways, there was an opportunity in the last stint where he was out on the court. You could tell they were kind of keeping him out there a little longer to see if he could get the 40. But Miami was kind of shadowing him really close, and he ended up having to pass off to other people more, like IQ and Scotty. But alas, Brandon didn't get to the 40, unfortunately. 38 is good, though. It's his high for Raptors and season high this year. 13 of 23 from the field. Fantastic, man. And his the way he was operating was just so confident and so especially with Larson on him. Larson, you can't do jack shit to Brandon Ingram. And you get a little chippy with Scotty Barnes at one point. Like, that's dumb, bro. Like, seriously, you're getting your ass handed to you on the court. Brandon Ingram is bullying you. He's like taking it to you, and you can't do jack shit. And it's just one of these things. Is like, oh, not even too small, no talent compared to me, because you can't guard me. You can't guard me, Larson. No, you can't guard Brandon Ingram. You can't guard Scotty either, to be honest. Brandon, 13 of 23, 2 of 3 from 3, 10 of 11 at the free throw line. I love how consistent he is at the free throw line. You can really see that he really puts a nice spin on the ball, and talk about spin in a second, where it is really making his percentages go up, because he really shoots it in a way where the ball loop up and kind of spin around and have a lot more chances to kind of fall down through on the free throw. And that's high level stuff. And talking about that, wow, that corner 3 that he made last night with the swirly, that, and it was true with some of the other people on Discord. We're watching it last night, and we all reminded us of the Kawhi shot with the 4 bounces and making it over Joel Embiid in the Sixers in the playoffs. in 2019. That shot by Brandon in the corner that was crazy, careening around in the rim, touching, as Matt Devlin said, touched all parts of the rim, and then went back around another time around. That was like uh, high level, high skill English off the palm of your hand shot, just like Kawhi shot against the Sixers. You saw that high level skill of that kind of spin, and it's like, boom, goes right in. It's like I used to play a golf game called Hot Shots Golf. It's just a fun game on PlayStation, and it's cartoony, but you could put all these really cool spins on your golf shots, and you could make holes in one because you put the spin just right on the hit, and all of a sudden it like zeroes in on the hole and goes right into it because you hit a certain kind of spin on your golf shot. Well, that's kind of what Brandon did with that shot. Is like he put a super spin on it, and the super spin spun around a couple times on the cylinder and then dropped in. And that was cool. It was really kind of like a reminder of the Kawhi shot, and it was very reminiscent of it, especially with how it was dancing around on top of the rim and then finally falling in. It wasn't as dramatic, wasn't as high stakes, but the connection is that the high level of skill by the two people that took those shots, and how that kind of shooting with that kind of English, yeah, put that on my team. Seriously. We also saw Brandon come at the lane at one point with a monster dunk that he really wanted. He really wanted that dunk. He kind of talked about it after the game, where he's like, yeah, I really wanted that dunk. But the thing that was new about that was there were a couple times in the game last night where he didn't make his shot, but he followed his shot. And this is weird because I noted this a couple of weeks ago. I watched Brandon play his offense, and he'd shoot a shot, and I'd be like, whoa, you knew that was off, Brandon, when it left your hands. You knew it was, because I know how basketball shooters are. You shoot your shot. Sometimes you can tell if you're short or you're a little long and you're going to brick it. But the best person offensive rebound is the person who took the shot, because they know the trajectory better because it left their hand. And that's why I was saying there's missed opportunities for Brandon to go and chase his shot if he missed, because he's such long arms. And also, he has the idea where the ball's going better than anybody else because the ball came off of him and his energy. So I like this. He had a couple of follow-ups on missed shots by himself, including that dunk that he tried to do ferociously thrown down. He stayed right there and waited, and he got the tip off the cylinder and tipped it back in and made the point still. That second effort, that third effort, that fourth effort sometimes is necessary. And especially if you're the guy who took the shot and you missed, you're going to have the best information about where that ball's going to. So go track it down, go get it. Go get it, especially if you know you missed it already. You shoot the shot, you know you're going to miss it. You get deflated, and you're like, I missed it. And you just stand there. Well, what are you doing? You're wasting your life. Go chase the ball down because you knew you missed it and get that offensive rebound putback. Yeah, and he did that a couple times last night. I was very happy about that. 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Darko going on about that. There's like, look at this man got 38 points, his most points this year, and he still got 7 assists and 7 rebounds while he did it. That's just a good all-around game. This is Kobe Bryant shit right here, Brandon Ingram. This is what I'm saying, man. You were in Mamba mode last night. You were playing at a level like Kobe Bean last night. In some ways, your stat line could have been Kobe Bryant's stat line 10 years ago. Seriously, man. Seriously. Like, I guess 10, 15 years ago. This is a Kobe stat line right here. 1 turnover, 1 steal, a plus 13. Yeah, Brandon, keep being Kobe, man. Keep being Kobe. There's nobody who's trying to stop you on the Raptors team. The coach will love you. Your teammates will love you. You want to do this kind of stuff. You can get a rise out of the bench. They can be so impressed with some of the stuff you do sometimes. Seriously, you can do this, Brandon. You can do this. You told on yourself, and Darko's going to expect it more. Watch. My second star of the game is off the bench. And once again, and this has been consistent for like 4 out of the last 5 games, Colin Murray-Boyles is my second star of the game because he's just been very, very strongly consistent. And we're seeing a raw power from him, a raw strength. And it's scary hours. The fact that he can get stronger. He's only a rookie right now, and he's already scary as hell to other people. In fact, I think there's a warning around our team in practice and when we're playing against each other that Colin can't go all out against our own team members because he could hurt them in practice because he's like that with his strength. I'm sure that he doesn't go all out when they have to play in practice because he seriously could hurt people. He's that strong. Colin, 22 minutes, 17 points. He was perfect from the field. Perfect 7 of 7 from the field and a perfect 3 of 3 at the free throw line. That's fantastic because he has not been the best free throw shooter this year. Let's just put it that way. I like that he took care of his free throws and he took care of his shots. And those thumbs are not doing well. And I say thumbs because it's been disclosed that both thumbs are messed up for him at this point. It's not just the left thumb now. The right thumb has some issues because of running into Luca or something. Or who was it? I forget who it was. It was somebody in some game recently where he got hit and his hand was kind of hurting. It's not Luca. We haven't played the Lakers anytime recently. 8 rebounds for Colin, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 2 steals and a block, a plus 21. He's an X factor. He upticks our defense when he takes the court. He is a whole other level of shit disturber. And we see how quick his reactions are. So he's so fast to quick to get the ball if it's loose. If they're going to pass it near him and they're not careful, he is the reaction time to snatch a ball out of the air as it's whizzing by his head and just stop the pass, a full court pass going by him at half court because he's like that. He has that kind of quick reactions. There's so much about Colin Murray-Boyles that's so promising for the future. And he needs to be kept here for as long as possible and developed as best as possible by Coach Rajakovic because there's so much promise. There's so much winning. There's so much power. Yeah, there's so much power. Colin, man, you keep doing what you're doing, man. Seriously. You are not a rookie by strength or aptitude, but you are still a rookie by age. And don't forget that. That's why you get popcorn. My third star of the game is RJ. RJ's steady. RJ was the second banana scorer beside Brandon last night. And RJ is just in there fighting. You know, we know what we get with RJ. It's going to be a relentless physical presence that's going to be going and doing hard stuff, not taking the easy route. RJ's taking the hard route most of the time. And he's doing it every night consistently. And I appreciate him for that. He may not have the best shooting night every night, but we know that he's going to produce points for us, and we need those points. You know what I'm saying? Barrett, 35 minutes, 22 points, 6 of 15 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 9 of 10 at the free throw line. I got to give him a lot of credit for cleaning up his free throws more this year than last year. You know, RJ's been a mess at the free throw line most of the time he's been on the Raptors, but he's really, really dedicated himself to making them better in the last few months. He has really been way better at the free throw line. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, and 2 steals for Star J Barrett, plus 14. Yeah, he's just steady. He's just steady. He didn't shoot exactly well last night, but okay, good enough. And that 1-2 punch of Ingram with Barrett as an offensive duality is good because they kind of work in different ways. But one way they've been similar and put Scott in this trio too is all 3 of them are really taking it to the paint and aggressively going in there bully ball style. We see Scotty, we see Brandon, we see RJ, all of them putting the ball on the floor and going in the paint and bullying people and going in and making shots over people. Like I like this new style. It's not something we've been doing all season. It's something that's arrived recently where it's like, all right, we're going to go ahead and just give the ball to RJ and he's going to dribble into the lane and he's going to muscle that ball up into the basket against whoever tries to get in his way. But the smart thing is when these 3 players do make those drives and they find a wall of double or triple defenders, they're passing out and they're finding people. There was that one play that Stillman was really impressed with in the Discord last night where Brandon got kind of trapped down low and he had like 3 defenders circling him and he made this impressive rainbow pass over the defenders to RJ on the outside for a 3. And RJ caught the ball and shot it almost in the same second. And he was just so aligned with his footwork and his shoulder square that shot went right through. It was a beautiful play. It was a beautiful pass and a beautiful catch and shoot by RJ. And that should be a highlight of the night, honestly, because that pass was very difficult. And RJ really, really made that shot. That was the 3 he made last night. He made that shot look really good at that point. So yeah, we gotta give a lot of credit to RJ for being a secondary scorer and helping to carry the team. Because, like I said before, it's the winner of the game is which team has more people contributing in meaningful ways to add up to the win. And RJ Barrett's secondary scorer role in the game last night was absolutely essential. Absolutely essential. My fourth star of the game is Emmanuel Quickly. I want to give Emmanuel a star for last night because of his bravery, because he's playing hurt and it's obvious. And he's out there and he gave 23 minutes. It's not playing the regular minutes he's doing, but he's still finding the way to be effective in what he does. He makes the floor get spaced more because of the threat of who he is as a shooter and a driver. And he's also doing a lot of good floor general stuff. We're way more organized in the last couple games that Quickly has returned. You can tell our team is way more organized on offense, and we have a better pace to our game. And it's not a slight to Shed or Scotty or whoever's running it. It's just that Quickly is a great infusion to make our offense healthy. And in some ways, sometimes like with RJ and Jakob, when you have a guy missing for a little while, you actually start to feel and see what they add to the team that you miss. And I think that this recent time where Quickly was out and now him coming back, you can see how more healthy our offense is and how it works way better with him in the lineup. So this is a testament and evidence to why Quickly is an important player for our team, because we just run better. It's much smoother. It's more clockwork. And he gives a lot more room for our guys to get open offensively. We got to think about it this way. In some ways, it's partly that Shed is not always a reliable three-point shooter, although he's been very reliable recently. That, they'll lay off of Shed and not give him the same respect that they'll give Quickly. And in some ways, that's part of why Quickly's factor at that position as a starting point guard is so important. Emmanuel, 23 minutes, 11 points on 4 of 10 shooting. He had 3 threes he made, 3 of 7. And I love that powerful moment when he hits threes. It's very timely usually. Sometimes he hits a three where the game's a little bit close and he's just getting us a little bit more of a cushion, 3 more points on our score. Sometimes it's in a momentum swing where we need to get something going and Quickly hits a three and boom, we got more momentum on our side and going to kick their ass. So I like the way he plays like that. 3 rebounds also for Quick, 4 assists, 0 turnovers, and a steal, a plus 12 for IQ. Yeah, call 5, baby, and get 5 out there because you're going to win with 5 on the court. That's right. My 5th and final star, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Sandro. Sandro didn't score a lot last night, but he had a very high plus minus. He had a plus 26. So we outscored them by 26 points when he was out on the court. He must have been doing something right? 18 minutes for Sandro, 5 points on 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 turnovers, and 2 steals for Sandro. So he's a little stat stuffing. 2 steals, very timely. Very, very good steals. The guys that get steals for our team, they're igniting our fast break, which is one of our best ways to score. So I appreciate Sandro for his energy, even though he didn't score a whole lot and he didn't shoot totally well, but he had a plus 26. So that shows that he did something very good for our team. Let's see. Scotty Barnes, not bad. It's just a little more muted version of Scotty Barnes. He had a weird game. In some ways, he was working in the shadow box score and not so much in the box score because his box score doesn't look that great, honestly. But he was doing a lot of winning things on the download that just don't get recorded, whether it's team defensive stuff and just being a presence, just being a threat, setting picks, all kinds of different things Scotty can do without actually overtly doing anything on the stat line to help the team win. So, yeah, shadow box work by Scott. So, in some ways, I got to give him an honorable mention. 25 minutes, 13 points on 4 of 6 shooting. He made both his threes. His threes are very confident when they're squared up, and they're going to leave you open like that, like they did last year, Scott, and they didn't care because you were missing them. Well, this year they leave you open. They disrespect you like that. You nail them. 2 for 2 from 3. In fact, he's 2 for 2 from 3 in both games against Miami this week. 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, and no blocks or steals, a plus 4 for 4. That's just weird, man. In some ways you'd think he'd get a steal or a block somewhere in there because that's just his nature, right? He's the leader in the league in those categories. So that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, what did Scott do last night? Well, I know he was active. I know he's really important to the game. In some ways, he's a glue guy, and he's doing a lot of unwritten, unsung, a shadow box score kind of stuff that just doesn't get recorded. There's all kinds of things he did to contribute to the game last night. It's just I can't see in the box score because they didn't add up to steals or blocks, and he didn't have a whole lot of assists either, only two, which is interesting to me. But either way, we know his contribution is there in the shadow box score. You know he's helping them win. Jakob Poeltl, another kind of similar to Scott, where he's kind of muted. In some ways, we took Yak out and didn't play him as much in this game, maybe partly to rest him for tonight because it is a back to back, and we're not trying to have him rest tonight, obviously, because we need him in there against Mitchell Robinson. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we need him in there against Robinson to hold him off from offensive rebounds. So maybe Yak on purpose was limited in his minutes last night. 17 minutes for him, 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, and a block, a +4. Yeah, those guys, Scotty and Yak didn't have to do heavy work last night. In fact, Scott's minutes at 25 showed that he was being rested last night too, and probably for a big game tonight. So yeah, Scotty, Yak, and Emmanuel all 25 minutes or less. That may be really good considering we're playing tonight against New York. Really, really good. Let's see. Who else we got to go over? Jamal Shed off the bench, 22 minutes, 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3. He made a rebound, 3 assists, and 0 turnovers, a +13. Jacoby Walter, 25 minutes, 7 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 1 of 2 from free throw, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, and 1 steal, a +18. Solid bench contributions by both Shed and Walter. Nothing too heavy and flashy, but nothing to take away from playing winning basketball, if not going all out and getting a whole bunch of stats. The thing that was really good about the Raptors last night was their turnovers. They had very few turnovers. In fact, there were 4 individual turnovers in the game last night and only 2 team turnovers. So 6 turnovers overall for the Raptors in all 48 of the minutes against the Heat last night. Fantastic taking care of the ball. Fantastic. Yeah, and those 2 guys are part of it. Also, garbage time for the other guys. Jamison Battle, 1 point on 1 free throw, 3 in the 3 minutes at the end. That's the only point they scored. The Raptors' garbage time is not good. These guys at the end of the bench are not holding a standard to show that, yeah, they're trying hard and they're jumping on the every minute that they get on the court. They're kind of lackadaisical and they're not going all out. In some ways, somebody needs to tell them this. You guys are in the bench. You're garbage time guys. What do you do in garbage time? You go all out. You have to be ferocious. You have to show something in those 3 minutes. And y'all don't care. It seems like y'all are just walking through the motions and just like, yeah, don't worry about this. You guys have already won. I feel like y'all are missing out on opportunities. Grady, Jonathan, Jameson, Elijah, and AJ Lawson. That you should be out there trying to put a show on in the last 3 minutes where you're going crazy and just scoring like crazy. You should be hungry. Those Miami Heat players on the other side were. I mean, y'all got outscored 11 points in the last 3 minutes by those Miami Heat end of bench guys. And they ate up our lead and made it look closer at the end of the game with the score. So in some ways, it's like y'all in garbage time, you're failing. You're failing. You need to show better. You can't keep getting all these goose eggs because first of all, y'all are messing up your points per game averages. That was one of the reasons why guys in garbage time would try and get each of them try and get each one basket, and you'd all help each other. You play the team game. Don't be selfish, but y'all need to all go out there and in 3 minutes try and get all 5 of y'all a point because y'all don't want to hurt your points per game averages. Y'all want to show us what you're doing to try and get more time in the rotation. Well, you're not doing it. You're going out there and y'all are running cardio at the end of the games in these garbage time minutes. And it's embarrassing in some ways. It's like it doesn't matter. We're going to win the game still. But y'all should be doing better in the last 3 minutes of the game. Garbage time Raptors players. Grady Dick, Jonathan Mobo, Jamison Battle, AJ Lawson, and Elijah Martin. Y'all should have more pride. And y'all should try and outscore them in those times. You guys are getting beat 11-1. That's 12-1, actually. That's the ratio. 12-1 is what the score was in the last 3 minutes. 12 for the Miami Heat, 1 for the Raptors. So y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better. The garbage time is embarrassing. And y'all take that seriously. That's what they used to say. It's like, don't take any minutes as useless or just like, yeah, I'm going to do cardio. I'll just run up and down the court. No, that's your crucial time. That's your only time on the court. Heck, you can ask Tyreek Key. He's standing on the bench in street clothes, and he would jump at a chance to get out there for 3 minutes at the end of the game and try and do something magical and make some points for himself in the NBA. Like if he got that chance, it doesn't look like he's going to get that chance to even get on an NBA court, which to me is tragic. I get this. You want to give extra money to Tyreek Key for 2 years service on Raptors 905 and just being fantastic. He gets a bonus and money. But what you know what does he really want? Why don't you put him on the court and let him actually play? Seriously. That's what I want to see from you guys. Why don't you let that man have his NBA dream? It's like you're getting it so close to him. In some ways, it's like it's kind of torture. You got him all the way there. He's sitting on an NBA bench. He's watching. He's hanging out with Chucky and Elijah and them from 905. He knows some of these guys because he knows them from that team. Why can't you put him in? He could have been dressed last night and he could have played in those 3 minutes at the end of the game instead of Martin or Lawson. And in some ways, he could have maybe scored and got his NBA point dream come true. That's the thing, man. I see him so close. I don't want him to get this close to be in the NBA and he doesn't actually get in. So make dreams happen. Give Tyreek Key his NBA dream and put him in a game, Darko, either tonight or Sunday. I know that in some ways they're saying they got to cut him this morning just so they can convert either AJ to Elijah or Elijah to a full contract for the playoffs. Man, this has not been managed right. You should have played Tyreek in one of the 2 Miami games, Darko. And in some ways, I'm pissed off that he's so close to getting that NBA dream, but it looks like he's not going to get it. That's messed up, y'all. In some ways, that's head games. In some ways, that's not nice to do to him for his mental health. You should fucking put him in and let him play at least a minute of NBA time just so he can say he made it. Seriously, he's worked so hard the last 2 years, and I don't give a shit. You're going to have Grady Dick run around for 3 minutes of cardio, do nothing. You might as well let Tyreek Key have his NBA dream, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, that I didn't agree with that. That kind of pissed me off. Looking at the other side, yeah, Bam had a much better game this one. 24 points for him and 11 rebounds, a double-double, 9 of 14 shooting. He had 8 assists also. So he was a real force there. Real force. Double-double for Davion Mitchell also. 15 points, 11 assists. Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. Dave is fun, man. I like Dave a lot. And in some ways, I wish him well. I want him to just have a great career and just be a happy dude. Davion Mitchell, you're awesome, man. You are awesome. You are awesome. Yeah, that's about it to look at the other side as far as their team stats. Well, they outshot us. They actually shot better than us in the game. It's interesting. They shot 56%, but we got 4 more shot attempts and we shot 51%. We made less threes than them. They had 14 threes. We had 13. But the free throw line is where we made up a lot of these points and won. We got 34 free throw attempts. They only got 14. So they gave us plus 20-point attempts at the free throw line. Now, people on the other side would say, man, the refs are so against us. They didn't give us no free throws. Man, we worked hard for those free throws. We were taking it to y'all down low, and we were aggressive in getting to the line. And that's why Josh Tiven put us on the line so much. So, yeah, 27 out of 34, 79% of the free throw line for the Raptors. And, having a plus a 19 at the free throw line is the difference in the score right there. Outscoring them at the free throw line is where we won. Rebounds, we out-rebounded them 40-34. Assist to turnover ratio, well, we didn't have a whole lot of assists. A lot of isolating Ingram and letting him just handle things one-on-one in isolation. 24 assists, 6 turnovers. So it's still a very, very strong 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. That's fantastic. 4-to-1, even though only 24 assists. Hey, only 6 turnovers. Hey, 35-15 for the Heat. So they didn't do too bad. 2-to-1, over 2-to-1. Fast break points, they beat us 12-10, and they beat us in the points in the paint last night, 58-48. So there was some improvement for the Heat in this game, But the physicality of us taking it to them in the lane and getting the free throw line were a big, huge factor in how we won last night. So yeah, kudos to the Raptors on taking care of business and getting both wins against Miami this week. This big time, big time. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Fierce Trevor's saying this. Miami's coach said he doesn't have the answers right now of what is happening. I mean, I do. I can tell you what it is from my perspective as a Raptors fan. Your team's very young. Your team is immature. Your team is inexperienced, and your team doesn't understand how to win exactly correctly yet. The majority of your team is very young, Eric Spoelstra, and it is not a nucleus that has a veteran feel to it. You may need Udonis Haslem or Kyle Lowry. Bam is a certain kind of leader, but he's not a certain kind of leader. Tyler Hero is the franchise guy in a lot of ways to me, but he's been hurt most this year, and he hasn't had totally a consistent year because of that. Those two guys are your building blocks. Davion Mitchell's still a pretty young player, and in some ways he's a leader, and we saw what he can do on our team. But overall, your team is very young, and it's epitomized by people like Ware and Waquez and Larson. And that's it right there. In some ways, y'all are a younger group than we are, in some ways, with your maturity and how you play in the league. And in some ways, they have tough lessons about growing up, is what the Miami Heat have right now. In some ways, they may want to consider moving on from Bam Adebayo and letting him go somewhere else, but he's been a life Heat player, and maybe they don't want to do that. They'll just keep him there forever. I don't know. So they very much value Tyler Hero and wouldn't trade him in the last couple of years either. In some ways, there are changes that have to happen in that organization, whether they're front office changes or coach changes. That's to be determined. But I mean, they may overreact and make these changes, and they don't need to, because they just need to wait because they're immature, and that they may grow up in the next couple of years, just like we're growing up. There's a lot of similarities there. The knuckleheadedness of the Miami Heat players is partly because they're a young core and they don't know what they're doing in the NBA yet. They don't know as a collective how it takes to win. And that's a similar song you could sing about us in recent years too. You could say that too on a certain level. Stargate saying this. It says the Raptors have clinched a playoff position. It says that on the standings right now. Woo-wee! Let's go. Let me see that. On the standings. It doesn't say that on the ESPN standings. It doesn't say we've clinched it yet. Now, what Josh Lewenberg has been saying on Blue Skies yesterday is that if the Raptors win either one of these two games going out, they will have clinched the playoffs. But no, it's not official yet, Stargate. Whoever's saying that is not being truthful. Currently, right now, we have not clinched a playoff spot for sure. We are still in danger of falling in the play-in, but I think we'd have to lose both games, and something would have to go really well for Orlando for that to happen. So I think that it's likely we're going to do it. And I think that the thing that will make us get it for sure is winning against New York tonight or winning against Brooklyn on Sunday will for sure make it. I think we just need to win one of these two, and we will be in the playoffs for sure. Yeah. Smooth's here. You know what, guys? I want to say this right now. Happy birthday, Reggie. That's right, guys. We have our Raptor Freak birthday. Today is our Raptor Freak trivia champion currently, Smooth Brown Man. So happy birthday to Reggie. It is Reggie's birthday today, guys. And, we want to wish you a fantastic day today, Raptor Freak champion of trivia. That's right. He worked really hard for that championship last year, and he totally deserved it. So, yeah, he is a Raptor Freak trivia champion and a valued Raptor Freak family member. And we love you, Reggie. You and your Houston Rockets love. But yeah, Reggie, happy birthday, man, from the bottom of the Raptor Freak's heart. So you guys spread some happy birthday love for Smooth Brown Man today, guys. That's right. I think the Raptors have at the very least clinched a play-in spot. That's what that means. Yeah, they have for sure, because in the standings, all the eliminated teams are marked as eliminated, and Miami's marked as being in the play-in for sure. But other than that, the 5 teams in the middle, us, Atlanta, Orlando, Philly, and Charlotte, none of us have been designated as play-in or playoff for sure. And those 5 teams are still in play for the 2 playoff spots. So that's not for sure there. And it's still not for sure with the Knicks and the Cavs either in their spot. They're only a game apart from each other, and they can flip. In some ways, that's part of the reason why maybe the Knicks will be playing for something tonight. because they know if they lose to us tonight and the Cavs win, that they'll be tied. And I don't know who has the tiebreaker in that series, but they don't want to go to the last game of the season, probably, where they have to try and do something to stay away from being in the fourth seed. Either way, the Knicks are going to be a home court team in the first round of the playoffs. So maybe they don't care. Maybe they do things a certain way to kind of steer towards the matchup that they want to get in the first round. I don't know. We'll just have to see if Mike Brown is strategizing in a kind of way like that. Who knows? I want us to kick the Knicks' ass. I think that the Knicks are honorable and they're going to try and come out and play to their highest ability, just like they did against the Celtics last night. The fact that they beat the Celtics in a close game last night, showing that they're not pulling any punches and they are trying to win out for the rest of the season. So we'll see. I mean, there is always the possibility that the Knicks are feeling comfortable in their position and they don't want to show all their hand because they may play us in the first round and they may rest guys tonight in some ways at the last minute just to not show their whole hand, so that we have more scouting if we do play them in the first round matchup. So there's a lot of different ways they could play this, and we'll just have to pay attention. That I have a feeling they're going to play all out and try and beat us, just as we're going to try and beat them, because they are still jostling with Cleveland for 4 or 5. So I could see that. I could see that being the philosophy. We'll have to see, though. They could also be like, we're going to play you guys in the first round. We don't want to show you our full strength until we play you in the playoffs. So there's a couple ways they could do this. Let's see. Fiercely saying, we neutralized Brunson. Easy win. OG is good. Bridges and Cat are streaky. Hart had a good game yesterday, so we should also be careful. He plays hard and chases rebounds. We must be aggressive, focused, and locked in. Also, watch out for foul trouble. Yeah, they're a very physical team, but we've been playing very physical lately too. And I like that we're healthy. That's the other thing. And most of the games we played the Knicks this year, 1 or 2 guys have been missing for each game, and we haven't had the whole roster. And the really important guys in the Knicks games are Jakob and Colin. That we need to have those 2 guys out there to mix it up physically with the Knicks to have our best ability to compete with them fairly and possibly beat them. And there were games this year where Yak was not available against the Knicks, and Mitchell Robinson ate us for lunch on the boards. So that's a key matchup right there, that we're going to need Pirtle to kind of mirror Robinson's minutes tonight. Seriously, I think that would be smart if Darko did that, if he kept Pirtle out there around the same time when Mitchell's out there. And then Collins an X factor. As much as Josh Hart is annoying and strong and coming to just take the ball from us, well, Colin is too. And in some ways, maybe his energy can neutralize some of that scrappy physicalness of the Knicks coming at us. Say, oh, yeah, you're going to do this to us? Well, hi, this is Mr. Murray-Boyles, and he's going to do some of that to you right back at your face. Because that's what I'd like to see. Because in some ways, you got to fight fire with fire. And the Knicks are a physical team that will come and try and take a candy. So let's go take their candy too. That's what I'm saying. We talked all about how Colin Murray-Boyles, in some ways, this is the interesting thing. I was talking about this with Stillman in the Discord after the game last night, post-game Discord. I was saying, the thing about Colin is that he's in his first year. He's a rookie, and there's a learning curve, and there's a area to grow into. We're already seeing the preliminaries of some of the strengths and powers that he has. The fact that he has such quick hands that are strong, he can steal the cookies out of the cookie jar from people on the court. Now, I extrapolate it in my mind into the future. You kind of see these prospects come in as rookies, like Scotty is a rookie, and you kind of daydream about what is possible with this guy physically. What is possible with this guy as he develops and becomes stronger and becomes a more intelligent, knowledgeable NBA player that understands the league and the personnel in the league and how to play them and stuff like that. That's the thing. Colin's just getting orientation this year. This is, hello, rookie. You're in the NBA. This is a longer schedule. As he put it, this is like 3 college schedules. And there's no time to be tired, even though he looks tired all the time, according to Alvin Williams. But either way, the thing you could think about with this is not only is Colin going to get stronger because his body will develop more with the weight training of the NBA life and being on the Raptors, but he's going to get more knowledgeable. And in some ways, he's going to get personal scouts on all the different players around the league. We see this with Scotty. Scotty has learned very specific superstars in this league and how to play them when he has to face them during the season, whether it's Jokic, whether it's SGA, whoever it is, whether it's Bam Adebayo. He's gotten the knowledge of specific matchups. And when he played with Anunoby, this is how Anunoby is. OG is very in depth with his matchup and his research and going into games against who he has to play. This is why OG Anunoby is one of the best defenders in this league, is he really knows his opponent and how to stop them in their proclivities. Well, Scotty has learned this stuff over the years, and that's part of the reason why he's become such a good lockdown defender on so many positions and so many different superstars in this league. Well, Colin's going to do this too, guys. He's going to learn this league better, the individuals in this league. He's going to be more comfortable in this league in the years to come. And it could get to the point where Colin's this kind of guy, kind of like Kawhi, that can just run up to anybody on the court and understand that he can just take the ball from somebody at any given moment. And that's the thing. That's scary hours for the rest of the league, because he's already showing an aptitude and a baseline in his rookie year that has growth to it above it. Think about what I'm saying right now. And when you hear something, what I just said like this, understand the Raptors are not finished getting better in this team and how they can rise up in the standings and be a true championship contender. Because this is just an orientation year for Colin Murray-Boyles. And when he gets more in depth, especially with his aptitude and his ability to learn so quickly, this is going to come very soon. And we could see him drastically change just even in the first 3 years of his career with the added strength and the added knowledge of how to play in this league in very specific individual ways with certain specific players he's matched up against that night and just teams and all this stuff. He doesn't know what he's doing exactly yet right now, and he's doing what he's doing. So oh my gosh, look out. Look out. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Jimmy saying Cavs sitting key guys today. Interesting. That's interesting intel. Kareem Thomas is here. He's saying such an adult win yesterday. Yeah. Adults only. This is the Playboy channel of Raptors. So we're saying this. Looks like the Knicks might try and win this game tonight. Oh, I'm sure they will try and win. In some ways, they want part of this is psychological with us. We have not beaten them in so long. In some ways, that's messing with brains. Grady Dick has never defeated the New York Knicks his whole entire career since he's been on our team. He hasn't beat them once since we got Grady as a rookie. He's in his third year, y'all. We've not been the Knicks in 3 years. We need to get around that. In some ways, that's part of the thing is like they may be coming to the game tonight just to keep that streak against us going because they don't want the psychology of us breaking the streak and feeling good about it. That could be very important tonight right there. That could be very important. Smooth saying, hoping for a Raptors upset win tonight so the Brooklyn game means nothing other than cosmetic. Well, I don't think that it'll mean nothing in any kind of way because I think we're going to try and go and get that win regardless. So we just got to do it. We got to beat both teams. And I'm not thinking about Brooklyn at all. I'm not thinking about them at all. We just got to focus on tonight and just go get the Knicks tonight in Madison Square Garden. That's it. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Jimmy's saying, seems like the Cavs want to stay put. They, in theory, could have threatened the Knicks for the 3 seed. If we lose tonight, there's a good chance we face the Knicks. So in some ways, the Knicks, in some ways, may be thinking, we got to beat the Raptors because we want the Raptors in the first round. Well, be careful what you wish for, New York. Either way, we just have to be pure-hearted as competitors and just say, this is what is going to be in front of us. We got to go into it and take on whatever challenge it is. And we can't be afraid of it. We want to avoid the play-in, and it looks like we will successfully avoid the play-in. But at the same time, if the Knicks are coming to beat us tonight because they want to continue that streak and defeat us already mentally before we have to play them in the first round possibly, no, we're not going to allow that. In some ways, it wipes a whole new slate. If they go 5-0 against us tonight, it won't matter because it'll be 0-0 next week if we line up against them in the first round. There is a lot of psychology to this. And I don't know what Mike Brown and the New York Knicks will be thinking about. Yeah, they're going to play their best effort tonight. I'm sure they will. And who knows whether they want us or not truly in the first round. They probably say, yeah, we do want the Raptors because we know how to beat them. We'll just have to see how it all plays out, and we will take the challenge at hand. That's it right there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Troy Henry is saying this. Colin Murray-Boyles is such a force. What a togetherness they are playing with. Yeah. Yeah. I like the way they're playing off each other. There's a real connectiveness, there's a real trust. We're seeing some really excellent passing and sharing the ball. And there's just so much like potential, so much potential with our team to get to new levels of excellence when they really dial in and they're really on top of things together and connected and communicating, whether it's on defense or on the beautiful offensive game they play too. You know, RJ and Scotty are just a joy to watch as a tandem. Those guys really play off each other so well, so well. Barnes and Barrett, they really, really do. Let's see. Stargate saying, where are all the capture the flag proponents who were screaming all over themselves over the great generational talent that Cooper Flag is? I read that wrong and on purpose because that sounded gross. Screaming all over themselves. Yeah, that sounded gross, Stargate. Man, phrasing. Come on now. I don't care about this. I don't even know why you're bringing this up. I know that he had like a big scoring game, and now some pundits are saying that he's over Khan now for Rookie of the Year. That may be just them saving face. I don't know. I'd still look at the record and see where the team is. When y'all are declaring Cooper Flag a Rookie of the Year over Khan Knipple. Nah, man. I'm still saying it's Khan just because the Charlotte Hornets have a postseason future and the Mavericks do not. So yeah, what I mean, I don't even know why you brought him up. You're propagating talking about him like they did last year. We can ignore him, Stargate. We don't need to talk about him. Fiercely saying this, NBA YouTube posted Brandon's highlights and also his post-game presser, 11 minutes long. Yeah, I like, you know what? Our team is doing so bad with the highlights. Like, why did you do this all year, MLSC? Like, why do you put out our own team game stats and they're always 2 minutes? Like AI did it. I know you did it through AI. Let's get AI to do the highlights. We're lazy. We won't even edit this clip. We'll just feed it into the machine and we'll make the clips 2 minutes long. That's just the mandatory thing. Like, there's not good enough time in 2 minutes to show the highlights of a whole entire NBA game. What is NBA's channel doing? 15 to 20-minute clips of highlights for each game. And meanwhile, our cheap ass MLSE is feeding the highlights of the game through AI to say 2 minutes of highlights, please. Like, that fucking tells anything about the score or the game. It's a waste of time. And I stopped clicking on the stupid ass Raptors 2-minute highlight reels that have been coming out for other games all season. It's a waste of time. Whoever decided to do this, you're an asshole and you hate basketball, obviously. You do, because you don't get it. Whoever's in charge at Raptors admin channel that's making 2-minute game highlights for the Raptors games. You're a loser and you're cheaping out on the fans. You could, if you have adjustment, a little dial, maybe we should turn it up to 3 minutes of highlights and churn out just 3 minutes highlights. You lazy ass editors that don't want to fucking go in there and edit out the game. I'll just let AI do it. And AI will do 2 minutes of highlights every single game. You guys are losers, whoever set that up. Fuck you, Raptors official admin who's making 2-minute highlight reels. We deserve at least 5 minutes, if not 10 minutes of highlights. You lazy asses. You're not even doing the work. Just turn up the dial a little bit. 4 minutes of highlights, maybe. Please, sir, may I have some more? You miser, you fucking Scrooges that don't fucking put out more highlight reel for Toronto Raptors official channel. You fucking putting out 2-minute highlight reels? Friday freak out, motherfucker. Start fucking putting out more highlights. Meanwhile, NBA channel is amazing. They'll put out like a half hour of highlights, including the pregame interviews, the halftime interviews, the postgame interviews, extended intro with the starting lineups announced. It's like NBA's getting this. We got like 20-minute highlight reels. And then they're including the postgame conference with Brandon Ingram. Yeah, what's wrong with you losers at MLSE and Toronto Raptors official admin channel? 2-minute clips? Come on, y'all. You losers for that. Seriously, cheaping out on us. Does that cost you any money? Do you think that, oh, they don't have a long enough attention span to want to watch more than 2 minutes of highlights? Fuck you for thinking that about us. We want to watch the whole 20-minute highlight reel, especially for a great victory like the victories over Miami this week. It's like, who the fuck made that decision? Who's the dumbass in Raptors social media that has decided that 2-minute highlight reels are enough? You're an idiot. And you guys better up the ante next year. I better not see no 2-minute highlight reels from Raptors official men next year. I've stopped clicking on them. I'm boycotting them. Just like I said, your money where your mouth is, your attention is money too. And you don't have to give attention to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram or any of those accounts if you don't want to. And I don't want to give any attention to half-ass, cheap 2-minute highlight reels by Raptors on the Raptors channel. Get this up, the minutes. I think a lot of y'all agree with me. Like, what is this joke? 2-minute highlight reel? What the fuck is this? Seriously, sorry, I had to do a Friday freakout. It's in my contract. Stargate saying this, generational talents who can't even take their team to play. All right, why are you talking about flag? You're guilty of this now. You're guilty of what you're accusing other people. You're bringing up flag. Nobody bringing up flag. We don't need it. I don't give a shit about flag. You're guilty of what they're doing, Stargate. So leave them alone. Don't even talk about them. This is Raptors Freak Channel. This has nothing to do with the Western Conference and Cooper Flag. I don't give a shit about him. You're the one who's doing what you are accusing other people of doing right now. So let it go. Let it go. In some ways, we don't need to do this right now. We'll circle back and talk about this at the end of the season when the Rookie of the Year goes to Concanipple. And then we can talk about it and really talk about it in the right way. But right now, you're guilty of what you are accusing other people of doing. Bringing him up when we don't need to. That's right. Reggie's saying this. Miami seems like their spirit is gone. Yeah, there's something wrong in there. I'm telling you, I'm reading their energy, and there's something deeper than basketball. These guys have a lot on their mind, and it's not about basketball, I think. I think that they're going to come out with some news that's going to be very sad, and people are going to be like, whoa, no wonder. I feel like that's the energy around them. It's serious because they don't look like the normal, just we're losing and this is bad for our team. There's something deeper going on right now with them. There's something deeper. Seriously. Yeah. 2 down, 2 to go. That's right, Neil. That's right. Stargate's saying, yeah, I'm going to be petty as fuck with this one. Yeah, but you don't need to. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for any introduction of Cooper Flag being a topic on my channel today. So you're guilty of what you accuse other people of doing. I don't want to do this. Seriously. I don't need your victory lap on Cooper Flag right now. Wait until the season's over and the Rookie of the Year comes out. That's the time to do it. Know your time and your place. Seriously. Reggie's saying this. We'll be very interested to see Ingram in a playoff setting and Scotty Barnes. That's what I'm saying. Brandon's tuning up and elevating his game right now just in time for the playoffs. And the way that he did that last night, let's see it. Let's see it. It's got to be consistent, though. And there's got to be a certain level of I'm adding up to winning, even if my shot's not going in, because I found other ways that I can help my team, even when I'm not totally effective. That's got to be the other part of it. If he's on like he is like last night, whee! But there can be a level of superstar excellence that's consistent every game where he's adding to helping to win, even if he's not totally on every night. And that's the stuff like him. I want to give Brandon so much credit for his interior defense this week. He's been getting in there and he has been stopping people at the basket. He's been going for rebounds in traffic. And he's just been way more of a factor as a defender and a rebounder than he has all season just in these last couple games. So those are the kind of areas where he can add to things without having to do all through scoring. That's the way right there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, see, look what you did. Jimmy's talking about Cooper now. We did not have to bring up Cooper Flag, Stargate. Just stop, man. Seriously. You're the one who brings him up all the time anyway. I don't want to talk about him. Jimmy's saying, I won't shit on Cooper. He's a dog. Youngest player to score 51. See? And he didn't even need to bring him up. Seriously. He's got nothing to do with us right now. Shots fired when not necessary. Let's see. KT's saying this. In the NFL, you never want to see the same team 3 times in a year, especially if you won the first 2 games. Knicks think it's going to be a cakewalk. Little do they know, Barrett and Quickly want this more than they could ever imagine. The OG RJ IQ trade has been very formative for both teams. In some ways, the rewards of that trade for the Knicks have been shown and very much felt since OG immediately came. and he really came in and bolstered their team and made them a bona fide team. Honestly, there's the pre-OG Knicks and there's the OG Knicks. And the OG Knicks are a way better team that's competing. He's the juice that makes the Knicks have the swagger and makes the Knicks at a whole other level. Before OG, they didn't have this. And it really has been since OG came there. Now, the stuff with RJ and Emmanuel hasn't hit exactly right away, but RJ's been consistently strong. Emmanuel's had injury problems for part of the time since he's been a Raptor. But these guys are young, and they're going to come through with their things to help us more and more. There's still the argument, who won this deal? Who won this deal? Why can't we say both teams won this deal? Because I feel like that's the true verdict, is that both teams won this deal. And if Knicks fans are just kind of that way where they have to have their ego and say, oh, we have to decide who won. It can't be even. I'm willing to say it's even. But Knicks fans have to, oh, no, we got better than y'all. We're better. This is the area where we can prove to them that they're wrong, is if we play them in the first round and Emmanuel and RJ come back and kill them, then there's a lot more fodder for us to make the argument, yeah, who won the OG trade now? Seriously. Because in some ways, look, I can see the rewards and the things that OG's done for the Knicks easy. They're going to broadcast it all over the NBA. And Knicks fans will feel it, and they'll really tout it, and they'll overimportance it even to a higher level than it's actually what is happening. But with with these guys, they're in the shadows, and nobody's going to be touting IQ or RJ for their accomplishments on the Raptors. They're in the shadows. They're not going to get this on blast. But if they get the publicity of a playoff series where they can play against their former team and show it where nobody can look away and they have to see it, well, that's a whole other thing. They won't be playing in the shadows then. They'll be right up front, in front of everybody's face, and killing their own past team. Yeah, that would be amazing. I love that. Let's not get it twisted, though. OG has not lost the Raptors since he went to New York. That's messed up, right? We have not beaten the Knicks with OG in the lineup. So that's something we need to do. We need to change that. OG's a competitor, and he wants to beat the Raptors. Well, RJ and Emmanuel want to beat the Knicks too. That's right. Stargate saying, Lex, I'm sorry, but I'm fully convinced Brandon saw your stream the other day and saw you criticizing him. I'm sure of it. Well, what if I told you that was part of what I wanted to happen? If that is truly what happened, I'd feel so honored if Mr. Brandon Ingram, one of the best players in the NBA, took any time of his day to check in on my show. I would be extremely honored, and I would be like, whoa, not worthy. Wayne's World. I'm not worthy. And I'll be bowing to him like this, like Wayne's World and Garth. Yeah, I mean, there may be truth to this. I don't know. I mean, somebody did tell me he's been watching, and it could have been a burner account of somebody that is associated with him and say, yeah, Brandon heard what you said. Well, part of the reason why I said what I said was to try and get this to happen, what's happened. And in some ways, look, I'm trying to help the Raptors. I'm not trying to hurt them. And if I can give them motivation pieces, if I can give them ideas, if I can give them aspects that they didn't see, if I can light a fire under them in any kind of way, I'm going to try and do it. And if I had anything to do with Brandon Ingram elevating his game to Kobe levels right now, thank you for listening to me, and thank you for doing it. That's what I say. I mean, it's one thing for me to say something on a channel, but it's another whole thing for him to actually go out there and do the very difficult, hard, high talent level of play that he's done in the game last night. So, I mean, if I was a little bug in his ear that said, and he heard it, and he went and did this, I appreciate him listening. That's what I would say. And I appreciate him doing what he's doing, and keep going. Seriously. I mean, if any of the Raptors check in on this channel just because they want to hear true fans that are really for them and have their backs, and they do want to hear constructive criticism that may actually help, that's what I'm trying to do here. Seriously, I don't want to denigrate or put any of you guys down. You guys are human beings. You guys are people. I look at you that way, and I don't look at you like other people may look at you, like you're part of a sports bet, or you're just somebody on TV that makes a lot of money, but you don't humanize them. No, I want to humanize these people. These are human beings. These are guys that have lives that have people they love, and they have things that they love to do, and they have feelings. And in some ways, I want to treat it with that kind of respect, but also at the same time, look, man, you're a public figure. You're making millions of dollars, and your job is very public. Your failure and your success is very public. And in some ways, if we can light a fire under these players in certain ways, you got to know how to do it with the right psychology. In some ways, I didn't want to denigrate Brandon personally as a person, and maybe I shouldn't have said something about his cannabis use. But in some ways, it's also like, look, if that was an issue and it's not an issue, this is great. If lighting a fire under him and saying like, look, man, it's not good enough just to get healthy, get all-star again, and get back to the old person that you are. You have to go above and beyond. You have to start winning too. You have to start playing at the highest level for yourself, because listen, don't rest on your laurels. Sure, it's great to be in Toronto. It's great to be a Raptor. It's great to have a coach like Darko and teammates like Scotty and RJ and everybody else. But that's not the assignment. The assignment is the Larry O'Brien. The assignment is the ultimate winning. And, you've done all these hurdles. You've gotten through the physical ones. You've gotten through the psychological ones of saying whether you could come back and do this, and you've done it. But the work isn't done. This is the thing. You're granted a golden opportunity of winning and playing and winning in meaningful games. So go win them. Go take these chances, and don't waste your life, because that's the thing. Sometimes you need a wake up call from somebody outside that can see the whole big picture that you can't see, and then you hear that voice and you're like, you know what? He's right. Fuck this shit. I don't want to waste my life no more. I'm going to get it. I've been playing in this league for 10 years, and I had to sit out for a year last year, and I hated it. And now I'm healthy, and now I'm in this opportunity. Do I want to squander this? No. You want to go and be like Bean Bryant and get out there and do what you did last night, Brandon. And if I had any part in any kind of kernel of an idea or a little bug in his ear or anything like that that helped him get to this, keep going, man. Seriously, because like I said, I will tout your legend on this channel. I will speak you the high heaven as far as your excellence and who you are when you do things like this and you carry the Raptors like you carried them last night to victories. You do this in the playoffs, oh my gosh, you're going to get deity status. You're going to become king of the North, Kingram. You're going to become king of the North. And you're going to take that throne that Kawhi threw away. And you will be a legend for the rest of your life in the country of Canada if you can achieve the highest levels of success with the Toronto Raptors, which is the Larry O'Brien, which is the finals MVP, which is a second championship for the Toronto Raptors. You can do this, Brandon. You're fully capable of this. We saw some things last night. You told on yourself, like Darko said. And listen, I'll give you leeway. The one thing I will always stand beside anybody on the Raptors for is effort. And if effort is given, even if in failure or success, effort is noted and effort is given accounted for. If you guys try your ass off and you're not successful and you can't win, I will take note of that, and I will not come at you guys, but I will come at you if it seems like you didn't try and you did leave opportunities on the floor and you didn't give your full effort. It's not always about whether you're successful or not. It's about whether you tried or not. And that's it right there, man. I love you, Brandon. I appreciated meeting your dad this year and going to a game on one of your tickets. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life, to be able to go to a Toronto Raptors game on one of the Toronto Raptors private tickets and sit in the friends and family section with the families of the players, like the Quickleys and the Walters and the Sheds. And, that was just amazing experience for a Raptor freak like me, to be able to say, you know what? The Ingrams want to give you a ticket to a basketball game this year. And Mr. Ingram's going to come say hi to you at halftime. And you're going to get a picture with Brandon's dad, Donald. That's a special moment. And for me, as a diehard, passionate Raptors fan, that's something I'll never, ever forget. And I bought your jersey on that day because of that. And I rocked it last night as you put those 38 through. Seriously, man, whatever you can do, whatever kind of pep talk, whatever kind of creative criticism, whatever kind of little buzzy bug I can be in your ear, I will. And I'll do the best of my ability to keep you guys sharp and keep you guys motivated and keep you guys on the right track towards success that you guys want, just like we want for you. That's it right there. That's how you are a positive fan. I can criticize Brandon, but did I criticize him in a juvenile, immature way? No, I criticized him in a way it's like, look, I know you can play harder, go do it. And then he did. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. It's that simple. Fiercely saying this Miami has numerous issues. Spoelstra makes weird decisions. Larson hit 2 3-pointers, but then he subbed him for Waquez. Good thing Waquez hit, but then that was weird. Heat Nation say Jovic plays out of position. Well, Jovic ain't even playing. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to diss Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra has been a fantastic coach for decades, and he really is a big respected coach in this league. And in some ways, look, I think him and Kerr are similar. They may be running the end of their tenures at their places, but they've been so successful in those places that you can't diss them. You can't, like, in some ways, you got to give them respect and give them the ability to go the way out they want to. You don't force them out. You don't want to fire them. In some ways, they got to come to their own conclusions and say, yeah, maybe it's time for me to move on. You don't want to do that to people. The way FSU forced Bobby Bowden out at the end of his college football career was sad, and it wasn't totally right the way they did it. You want to do it with honor. You want to honor the icon, the great coach, because let's not get it twisted. Eric Spoelstra is the most important coach in Miami history, even surpassing Pat Riley. Steve Kerr he should probably move on from the Golden State Warriors and probably from Team USA like he already has. But when do you tell these people that got so many accolades and victories for you and championships? When do you tell them to get out? You know what I'm saying? It's a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to do. Fiercely saying, where does not get enough playtime? I said Butler was the X factor, but Lowry was also valuable. Kel'el Ware, they call him Kalel. I call him Kel-El because if it's Superman's name, it's an L, like Jor-El or Kal-El. It's Kel-El. And they're saying Khalil. His name's not Khalil. His name's Kel-El. He's from Krypton. He's like Superman. He's a knucklehead. And we kind of thought that last year. We thought that when we were scouting him for the draft, and he was a possibility. We had decided that we didn't want Ware on our team because the intel we heard was that he's not a good teammate and that he's kind of a distraction behind the scenes. I can tell there's some energy from him. As great a talent as he is with his length and his shot blocking and even his shooting his threes, he has some issues in his attitude and his way that he is that's not good for a team. He's immature in some ways on the down low, and he's hurting their team in some ways on the down low because of that. In some ways, Ware is a lightning rod for the problems with the Miami Heat right now. There's a lot of Heat fans that may be watching my stream or checking in on this, and they'd be like, yeah, Raptor Street gets this. He's been frustrating us and annoying us, and in some ways, we don't want him on our team. It's interesting because he's very talented, and he does have a lot of potential. There's something not right with him. And even having a couple players like him on your team, especially when you have a very young roster, it can make the team not right for team chemistry because most of your team is young. You only have a couple of leaders that are older, and they're not even really that vocal, kind of in your face kind of leaders. Bam's not really like that. He's more like Brandon. He's probably a little bit more kickback and kind of like not as paramount as Scotty is, as a leader. And I think that that's part of the problems that's going on there. There's an immaturity, and a lot of it does emanate from Ware that's on the Heat's team right now. I can tell. Shaq Lindsay's saying this: we want to face the Cavs in the playoffs, but do the Cavs want to face us? Tonight's result might answer that question. If the Cavs win, they will probably most likely face us. But if they lose, then he just stopped. Then they would most likely match up with Atlanta. It would seem the Cavs would rather face Atlanta than us. Well, the record shows that it's probably better for them to play Atlanta, right? Right? Because we swept the Cavs. I don't know. Either way, once again, the psychology, a strategy of seeding and where you want to land in the seeding can make teams do dubious things with sitting players and trying to tank a game all of a sudden at the end of the season. So I don't know. We'll just have to see how it all plays out. I hope because this is the way the Raptors are doing it. Everybody's playing to their full ability to play out at the highest compete level to try and do the best they can and let the seeds fall as they should from that. But if anybody's trying to manipulate by losing or ducking to duck an opponent in the playoffs, well, they should get the energy back towards them of that kind of energy, because that's low key kind of mini tanking just for a seed in the playoffs. Nah, it's no good. Cleveland, you're going to lose on purpose tonight. Well, you deserve to lose in the first round of the playoffs too. Then, yeah, I would say that. Be honorable and try and win out is what I would say to all the Eastern Conference teams that have a something to play for right now. Yeah. Nameless is here. Good to see the Italian plumber on a Friday morning right now. I shed a little tear after every time Ingram comes up with a steal or a block. It's fantastic. I love seeing him get stats. His blocks inside have been fun. Oh, look, Brandon just blocked that shot. That's awesome. Look at that. He's gone up with two hands and he's rebounded and ended the possession for the Heat. And he's got the defensive rebound. That kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff gets me going too. Little tear, nameless. Some people get all happy because of 3-point shots and dunks. I get happy about block shots, steals, and rebounds. And that's an aspect of the game that's a winning aspect of the game. Sure, the flashiness of a half-court shot or a crazy dunk is fun to nephews and casuals. And they are fun to watch too for an old vet like me. But man, there's nothing like a defensive rebound to end the possession of the other team. And we got the ball coming back the other way with the promise of making a score ourselves. There's nothing like that. I love seeing that. That's right. Stargate's saying somebody show him, probably Darko, who's privy to your platform. Well, no, I know that Brandon knows about my channel, because how the hell did I get to go to the game on that ticket, right? Basically, this is the story once again, guys. My brother lives in Atlanta. He works in a big company, in a corporation, and one of his coworkers is from North Carolina, and she's friends with Brandon. It just so happened that they were at work one day talking, and he let it be known that I do this channel, that I'm a huge Raptors fan, and I do this channel. And she checked out my channel. She watched it, and she told Brandon and his dad about me, and he probably did watch me. And because they liked what I was doing, that's why they offered the ticket to me to go to the game earlier this season. So they've probably been aware of me this whole season and checking in on me here and there. And either way, I love the Ingrams. And Brandon, keep going. That's what I got to say. The only thing, the only reason why I would criticize is only when I feel like you're not giving the effort that I know you could. That's it. That's it. And that would be fair. That would be fair criticism. And I will recognize when you are giving amazing effort, like chasing down loose balls and going to get rebounds. And yeah, like I said, this is the thing. I'm here to tell the legend of the Raptors, not to decimate them with opinion like other Raptors content creators. I'm here to speak them up. I'm here to hype them up. I want to be a Flavor Flav for the Raptors organization. I want to be that hype man. Yeah, boy. I do. So, Brandon, I want to hype you up, man. I want to hype you up for all your accolades, like last night doing your Kobe impression, being like your idol. Being like your idol. That stat line and the way you moved was just like Kobe Bryant. There's no denying this, man. You played at a level like Kobe last night. You put in a Kobe game. You want to stack Kobe games, Brandon? That's my next challenge for you if you're listening to me. You want to look like Kobe on a more consistent level, on a regular night-to-night basis? Woo-wee! Look at that legend grow. Somebody talking about face of the league. Could Brandon Ingram be a dark horse that's coming in to say, hey, Adam Silver, y'all want a face of the league? Hello, my name is Brandon Ingram from North Carolina, and I'm coming to do this for this team now in the Toronto Raptors. And you can market me as a face of the league because look at what I'm doing. I'm doing stuff, and you're reminded of the great Kobe Bryant. That's what I'm saying. I want to hype these people. That's right. I want to hype you up. I want to hype you up. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying this. I'm with Stargate. After him or his entourage saw the stream, criticism comes from love for our team. And it may not be us. Let's not get egotistical. It could very well be it has nothing to do with us, and it's just a similar voice in the team. It could very well be Darko saying some of this stuff and saying, like, listen, if you do this or you do that, Boom, look at this and what we become. And this is how much more we have a potential to be this, you know? I mean, in some ways, I know we have a factor in the world of the Raptors. I know we have a factor here. We are a known unknown quantity. We are like that little bar that's around the corner, down the alley, through the alleyway, and you don't know the entrance unless you know it because it's like a secret door, and you have to know the secret knock. But we are known. We have to be known. I know we're known by the franchise because Masai knows about us, and that he probably had people checking on us, and we know Darko was here in that summer when he first got hired. And well, there it does seem like there's some evidence to the turnaround with Brandon this week with some of the stuff that happened on this channel from earlier this week. But we can't say for sure. Either way, I don't want to take any credit. There's nothing about what I'm doing here that's from my own ego. I'm only doing this to try and help them win. And if this is a side effect of it, well, we did good this week, didn't we, guys? We did real good. We did real good. All of us. That's right. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying, oh, I already read that one. Stargate saying fiercely, I'm sure of it. I mean, it is too, the timing is too on point. And you got to understand the burner account that came at me earlier this week in the comments was very explicit in saying he's watching you. Be careful what you say. Why are you throwing him under the bus? Why would you throw Brandon under the bus? He gave you a ticket to the game this year. You know, that's what they said. You can go back and look at the stream from Monday and look at the comment section. You'll see who was commenting. And you can see kind of what they were saying, you know, it's crazy. Let's see. Jimmy's saying, I'm sorry, guys, but that's crazy. Maybe because the team knows every game, it's game 7. I don't know. You may be right, Jimmy, too. I mean, I don't know. But it does seem really, the timing is really interesting. The timing is very interesting. Medved Ted saying BI was an elite playmaker as well. I know. I like that that little shuffle pass to IQ. Really good read of the defense and how it was rotating. And IQ just to the right of him, it's tossing it to him and a quick 3 by him. That was really high level pass. A very, very smart awareness and very good decision making. Very, very good decision making when he dumped it off to IQ for that 3 at that one point. That was really good. Shaq Lindsay saying, we need this win tonight so I can rub it into Milbester's face. I'm surprised Milbester isn't here for our pregame for the game tonight. I'm sure he want to say something. Smooth saying, Warriors really did Wiggins dirty by trading him to Miami. You know, I'm going to say this about Andrew. I like Andrew. I think Andrew's very talented. I think in some ways, being in Minnesota wasn't good for his career. He's not the potential player that he could have been fully in his career. You know, I like Andrew as a personality. His father is an amazing person. And sadly, he passed away in recent years. Florida State's Mitchell Wiggins. But in some ways, I would also say this. You know, as much as I made a motivational speech towards Brandon Ingram this week, I would do the same thing to Andrew Wiggins a long time ago. That's part of the reason why I'm not real big on having Wiggins on Team Canada, is because in some ways I wonder about his motivation. You know, you can say they did him wrong to send him to Miami, but in some ways, Andrew in some ways is being a passenger in his life. He's not totally being a full participant and making his own destiny. And that's part of the problem I have with him, is that I see there's all kinds of potential for him to get to a new level, but in some ways he's complacent and he's okay with just staying where he is. Does that make sense what I just said? So I don't know. I don't think they did him wrong. I mean, he just has to go to where he has to go, and he has to play where he has to play. He's in the NBA, right? He's in the NBA. The magic number is 47. That's right. 47 and 35. That's the record we want, Raptors. You need 2 more wins to get there. 2 more wins and no more losses. 47 and 35. That's the magic number. That's right. Reggie's saying Andrew was the best version of himself as a Warrior. He looks depressed now. I don't know if he looks depressed. I mean, I think that whole team is depressed. I don't think it has anything to do with just him as an individual. I think, like I said, the coaches look really depressed. And, the players, some of them are just young and they don't get it. Maybe the older players are depressed, Bam and Andrew. I don't know. Either way, I feel for him in some ways, but also at the same time, it's Wiggins, we love you up here in Canada. You're always going to be a great Canadian player that played in the NBA. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying BI for a paper brown bag and a first-round pick that doesn't belong to us soon. That's a steal. Yeah, I mean, I still get back to this whole thing where, the whole Pascal trade to Indiana, the way it looked at that time, I said, don't overreact right away because it does look bad. I know y'all look like we just traded Siakam for nothing, but the way that that move turned into another move, turned into another move, and now sitting on this with Brandon, okay, hello, realize that we took Siakam, who's in the same draft as Ingram, and we traded Siakam, who's a later first round pick, for a top 5 first round pick in the same draft. So there's some magicalness to that in some ways. Yeah, in some ways, the Siakam trade has worked out, even though initially, when we made it with Indiana, everybody said we failed and that was a horrible trade and that it was a stupid trade. No, Brandon Ingram comes from the Siakam trade. And if you really think about everything we did and what we got in that, I mean, Oshai is a part of that too. There's a lot that we got from the Siakam trade, and we still got draft picks from them too. Like some of the young players on our team were directly from the Siakam trade, along with Brandon, also. So I think we did pretty good with the Siakam trade over time. If people go back and look at it, yeah. Stargate saying, I hope it's not Pat Riley. I mean, it could be something as sad as that. That like Pat Riley's not doing well health wise, and that everybody's concerned, and they are in a dark place because of that. I just read the energy is not totally being basketball. That there's something going on with the Heat's franchise that is sad, and it's not having to do with basketball. I don't know. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see just how in tune with my senses and like reading through the lines is. I don't want to be right. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. Fiercely saying we haven't seen Pat Riley in quite some time. Hoping you're wrong, Lex, but something is indeed odd. Yeah, it seems like it's deeper than basketball, guys, in some ways. Bryce is here. Good morning to Bryce. Good morning, Lex and Rat Freak family. I have a question for my tree smokers. Okay, tree smokers. How often do y'all smoke? Is it like all day, every day? Just every day or every other day? This is an interesting question, Bryce. I'll be open about this. Since I've been a cannabis advocate and an activist for my whole adult life, honestly, way before legalization here in Canada, and even was fighting for legalization in Florida when it was very criminalized and kind of dangerous to be at rallies for cannabis. I've been an activist for this for a long time. I'm a chronic. I smoke every single day. Now, when do I smoke? I've smoked every single day pretty much since my teen years, and I'm 50 years old. Now, do I smoke every morning right away? No. I wait. I actually probably will smoke my first joint around noon after I'm done with the stream. So yeah, I'll smoke every once in a while, like every few hours throughout the rest of the day after that. But yeah, I'm a pretty heavy cannabis user. I've been using it for a long, long time. And in some ways, I would say this, Bryce, even though maybe I shouldn't be encouraging this. I've smoked cannabis most of my adult life, and I didn't have to get reading glasses until last year. And most of the people in my family had to have reading glasses way before me. So there has been benefits to my eyesight from smoking cannabis. There's a lot of other health benefits I get from smoking cannabis, and it has to do with anxiety, but it also has to do with just like stress levels and just kind of like decompressing. For me, I can't drink. I'm an alcoholic. I haven't had a drink of alcohol since 2010. So my nightcap or my ability to relax is cannabis. So yeah, the one thing with cannabis that I try to deal with is the smoke and doing any damage to my lungs. Of course, nicotine smoke from cigarettes is way different than cannabis smoke. In fact, they've done certain kind of tests on cannabis smoke. Sure, it can still cause bad things for you, but it's not as high as percentage risk as nicotine smoke and cigarette smoke. It's much worse for you and can do way more damage to your respiration in your system. So I don't know. I don't know why you asked that exactly, but I'm a chronic. I smoke every day, and I'll probably smoke within 15 minutes after finishing the stream. And that's pretty much my pattern for my days. Yeah. Yeah. And I smoke sativa. So it's not like I get sleepy and tired for the day. I'm actually very active. I'm not lazy. I get out in the yard and I work very hard on my gardening projects and I do all kinds of other stuff. So The whole trope about smoking cannabis and being lazy and not doing anything is not true with me. I'll smoke and I'll go right into doing crazy 2-hour projects in the yard where I'm just busting my ass, hauling wood chips and hauling all kinds of stuff every which way and cutting down stuff and Anyway, there you go, Bryce. I hope that answer kind of tells you what's going on. Yeah, all day, every day, except before the show. I'm not on cannabis right now, but I will be about 15 minutes after this. Yeah. Smooth saying Game of Thrones actor Michael Patrick dead at 35. Wow. I don't even know. I don't know that show well enough to understand if that is actually which character. I don't know who he played, so I can't really tell you. I didn't really watch that show either, so I can't really tell you guys how I feel about that. But that's sad. That's sad to hear always. Stargate saying smooth. Tormund? No, I love that character. See, I don't even know who that is. Tormund? Who's Tormund? Tormund. Man, I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I should know Game of Thrones, I guess. Trevor's saying Tempo single game tickets are on sale now. Yeah, I want to go to the game at the end of the month, the preseason game, the first one. In fact, I asked Adriana yesterday about looking into those tickets and seeing if she wanted to go with me around that time and checking out the very first Toronto Tempo preseason game. That may be a very tough ticket to get. But yeah, Cool Cat got her tickets to the Fever game later this season, so she's very happy. So yeah, you guys can get Tempo tickets right now. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Kesper's saying the Second City jersey sweep last night. Yeah. Yeah. Second City jersey sweep. You mean because of the city jersey that they were wearing? I thought you meant Second City, like Second City, this improv school. I'm not sure what was thinking there. Good to see you, Kespra. Fiercey's got Darko, Brandon on blast. I like that. Medved Ted saying Darko said CMB is outstanding. He's surprised at how much he gives himself to the team, does all the little things, can guard all the best players on opposing teams, and does all this as a rookie. That's what I'm saying. This is orientation year. This is first year. This is just learn the league, the lifestyle, your teammates, and kind of understand this is what a season looks like. He has no idea. Like we could see him be very, very blossoming even more in the next couple years. That's what I'm saying. He's just starting. He's just starting, man. It's so awesome. Smooth saying apparently he was given a year to live and passed yesterday in hospice care with his family. Yeah, unfortunately, this doesn't hit me, guys, because I don't even know who this is. Medved Ted saying the Dawson's Creek main actor also died earlier this year. He was also fairly young, tragic. Yeah, James Vanderbeek, who played Dawson on Dawson's Creek, did pass away sadly like a month or so ago. Just tragically all of a sudden. Yeah. Yeah, and this is a guy, I think he's younger than me. He was in his 40s, right? Or maybe he was a little bit older. I'm not sure. Trevor's saying WNBA approves the new expansion teams, Cleveland in 2028, Detroit 2029, and Philadelphia 2030. I'm kind of annoyed with this because in some ways I wish they had spread Portland Fire to be coming in next year. So they'd have one team come in each year. Valkyrie's got to come in by themselves. All three of these other teams are going to come in by themselves, but we have to come in with the Fire and share the same expansion draft. It's annoying. So in some ways, we got to go above and beyond in free agency and getting players and using the advantage of being the first year of the CBA, the new CBA, to our advantage. In some ways, it would have been cooler if they'd done one team a year and bringing them in because it's unfair advantage to both the Fire and the Tempo that they had to come in the same year. The Valkyries got an advantage coming in by themselves, and these three teams will get an advantage coming in by themselves too. Think about it this way. Basically, they can take from the expansion draft any player they want with any other, not another team picking at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's what's annoying about it. Now, the one thing is, though, maybe the WNBA teams will get to protect more than 5 players because there's only one team picking in those years in the expansion draft, those years. So it's like maybe you can protect 6 or 7 players from those teams. That might be good. That might be fair in that way. That's what I'm saying. That's right. Medved Ted saying we're playing one thumb CMB because the NBA is not ready for 2 thumbs CMB. He's playing no thumbs is what they're saying right now. He's hurt both thumbs. This happened to Scott last year on the down low too. This is part of the reason why Colin's not shooting any threes at this point. because Scotty's shot was so bad from three because his thumbs were all messed up last year. Well, Colin's thumbs are all messed up. And in some ways, his best shots are all near the basket. Although he did make that really cool loopy, like high off the glass, little floaty, light touch shot that he made that was kind of a broken play. And it was right at the end of the shot clock. And Colin made this crazy shot off the glass up high, really high arcer with a nice touch. That was a cool shot. That was a cool shot. The shot clock was running out, and that showed a really high level of touch and awareness. Really high level of touch and awareness there. Yeah. Let's see. Neil saying Darko will need one or two relief players off the bench to supply energy as the core nine can develop tired legs in the second half. Hopefully, Battle and AJ can supply that lift. Yeah, or maybe even Grady, maybe Elijah. I don't know. You're talking about with the game tonight, seeing as it's a back to back and playing a short rotation and playing the heavy minutes on the guys may not be good, but maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see how he handles it. Hopefully, he's successful in his plan. However, he games how he wants to do the strategy. Hopefully, he'll be successful. That's right. All right. This is one I did hear about, and this one kind of really bugged me and made me sad for sure. And that's Africa Mabata. Yeah, he transitioned, is what Stargate's saying here. He's had some controversy surrounding him in recent times. However, you cannot discount his contributions to the general's genesis of hip hop. Yeah, no, he's right from the start. Start with Planet Rock. Man, yeah. I mean, this is a true pioneer of hip hop. One of the very early beginnings. Yeah, genesis is the right word for this. The very beginning of hip hop. Well, there's different groups that were around that time. That time, right? Sugar Hill Gang. Some people try to say Blondie it started hip hop. It's so stupid. That's such a. I hate that trope when they start saying, "Oh, Blondie and Debbie Harry made hip hop." That's absolute garbage. Absolute garbage when they say that. She was just the first mainstream person on radio to get a hit out where she was rapping. But there's the pioneers that were on the underground that are people like Africa Bambaataa that actually should get more of the credit in some ways, like Furious Five and people like that. The people that were in the clubs in New York that weren't getting a radio play that had hip hop as their message there. Yeah, that's sad to hear about Africa Bambaataa. Yeah, but this is inevitable for everybody, right? We're all going to pass at some point. And the more famous people we have, the more we're going to hear famous people dying. And it's sad. Yeah. Rest in peace to African Bambaataa, hip hop pioneer, real hip hop, not the junk they put out today. Yeah. Now you sounding old, MJ. Oh, this is when real music came out. We're gonna rock it, don't stop it. Gonna rock it, don't stop. Yeah, that's real music. What is this crap today with Gunna and all this other stuff? That's no African Bambaataa. Come on now. Come on now. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying Miami have officially waived Terry Rozier cutting ties. Well, I don't think they could fire their coach after 2 losses to the Raptors. So this is their move just to feel better. We're finally going to cut Terry Rozier. Finally, after a whole year of holding on to him for some reason, for whatever reason, I have no idea why. They finally waived him. This is how we feel. We're just pissed off the next day. All right, well, go ahead and waive Terry today. That'll make us feel better about losing the Raptors twice. Is that what that is? Is that what it is? Yeah, yeah. Echo Beach Blues is saying the weather's starting to wear me down, man. Garbage time was excruciating. Had my dad pissed too. Yeah, in some ways, it's like, look, it's an opportunity for you guys, Grady. You guys can take these opportunities or you can squander them. That's fine. Either way, you've had some good garbage minutes where you've looked very effective, but you didn't in this one. That's for sure. And Myron Gardner is outplaying you and making you look bad. That is what it is. Yeah. The weather's starting to wear you down. It's rainy today, but at least it's warm and it's not snow. And spring is here, man. It's coming real fast. I mean, I've got all the woodland creatures running around my yard all of a sudden again, whether it's the cardinals, the chipmunks, the squirrels. Everybody's out and about in my yard all of a sudden again. And that's a good sign that we're in the right part of the year. And this is the way you should look at it, Echo Beach Blues, is we're at the start of the roller coaster, the ride called spring, summer, and fall, where we get all our good weather for the year. So let's think about it that way. We're just at the beginning of all the glorious good weather days. And even in the middle of summer when it's hot, I'm like, yeah, this isn't Florida hot. This is amazing. So the weather's going to be very, very nice going forward from now. That's the attitude we got to have right there. That's it. That's it. I like the rainy, overcast days as long as it's warm, as long as it's like not super cold. Kaloy saying, Colin, Dennis Rodman, Murray-Boyles. So you want to be like Dennis Rodman? Well, people don't remember that Charles Barkley was very much like Dennis Rodman, very much, but he had more of an offensive aspect to him. That is the area that is very promising with Murray-Boyles that can be developed further is his offensive game. He has all kinds of possibilities and places that we can discover with him as far as a back to the basket game, or maybe even more of a shooting game from the outside with threes. Or, there's a potential to mold Murray-Boyles into an offensive player that is very effective with his strength and his agility. And, that'll be fun to see too, is what is Rajakovic's plans for fleshing out Colin Murray-Boyles as an offensive player, and what is the potentials and what we could see and how powerful he could be with that strength. There's a lot there to mine, a lot there to mine. And Dennis Rodman's not a good enough example because Dennis was limited offensively, and Colin doesn't have to be. And that's where he looks more and more like Barkley in some ways, is because of that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Echo Beach Blues is saying score was flattering for Miami. Yeah, they came back and made it look better because of the garbage time. Because of the garbage time. It would look worse. Medved Ted saying garbage time guys are battling to stay in the NBA. You'd think they would use wisely the little opportunity they get. Oh, well, it will make Bobby's job easier in the offseason. I think this is exactly right by Medved Ted. But, don't be surprised if we give guys a little bit more chances to see if they still develop and come back around. But there could be very tough cuts this summer because people did not take full opportunities when they should have. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Blackhawks saying Terry Rozier is waived. Yep. Yep. Echo Beach is saying seeding is in our hands. And that's the way we want it to be. We don't want to lose so that we're at the mercy of other people deciding for us. So every time we win, we decide for ourselves. That's it right there. That's it. Neil saying now Miami can afford an alligator handbag because they waived Terry Rozier. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Echo Beach Blues is saying, I think the Raps stay in 6. Lose at MSG, then a blowout win at home to cap things off. Most likely outcome. Well, I don't want to wish that for them tonight. Let's give it a good effort and let's stop the sweep against us by New York. That's the one thing I would say. If there's an extra motivation for the Raptors today, you don't want to lose 5-0 or 0-0. 0-5 to the Knicks for the season. That's 5 times you lost the same team all year and you didn't beat them once. No, we don't want to do that. We want to beat them if we can tonight. That's right. RJ Phillips is here. Randolph Phillips. Game day blessings, beloved Raptors Freak family. Be motivated by your God-given purpose, fostering trust and the divine plans. Everyone exists for a reason. I love that. I love that. Yeah, we all have a purpose, and we all hopefully can find our purpose in life and fulfill it if we can. And some people don't know their purpose, and it's tough, and they don't understand why. But you know what? I can help you. This is seriously a true thing. I can read human design charts now. I've been trained in it, and I understand them now. And if anybody's interested in finding their divine purpose in life, I can help you find it for real and tell you it to your face. If anybody's interested in that, reach out to me outside of this channel, and I'll do a reading for you, and I'll tell you what your life purpose is. I can literally tell you guys that if you want me to. I'll look at your chart and I will tell you what it is. But yeah, blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. And on this note, we're going to do our prayer for the game tonight since our great deacon, Randolph, is here right now. All right. Dear God, glory to God, all the glory. You are great above. Thank you for your creations, and you created us. You created me. You created them. You created everybody. And we got to remember that you're the one who had that power that did that. And we should honor that and respect that and treasure that. That, much like the guys in garbage time need to not squander their time out on the court, whatever minutes they are, we have to fulfill our life and do what our life purpose is, as Randolph says. And I appreciate you for giving us life every day, giving us a roof over our heads, food on the table, and friends. And I appreciate you for the NBA. And I appreciate you for all kinds of other great things in this world, like chipmunks and squirrels. I would like to humbly ask you today to protect the Raptors from injury on the court today. Please protect the Knickerbockers too. Why not? and all the other NBA teams that are playing tonight on the court, which is all of them because there's 15 games on the schedule. And I want you to protect all the athletes around the world also in all sports and what they do. I'd also really, really like you to protect the innocent, the meek, the mild, the people that are out there being subjugated to terrorism or menacing people like the United States Army right now in Iran. That is a terrorist organization at this point, U.S. Army. And they can change that if they decide in their own duty that they're not going to be terrorists under a terrorist leader named Trump. They can change that, but protect everybody from the subjugation from the totalitarian, authoritarian kind of kleptocrat criminals like the pedophile in charge. And he is somebody who raped women. We know this. And I think people need to continue to understand that he raped underage women and that should not be forgotten or swept under the rug or just kind of moved on from. That's very important. But I appreciate you so much. All the glory to God. Please help protect our friend Cool Cat, our friend Monique and her family, and everybody else that has dealing with hardships and struggles right now that are innocent and good people that didn't ask for their hardships. And I know that you will protect and make everything good. I have faith in you. And if you can, help us beat the Knicks tonight because I don't want to get swept by them. Amen. All right. There you go. There you go. Thank you, God above. That's right. Fiercey's all right. She's brought up NECA, who we were talking about yesterday, and they're saying she's going back to the team who drafted her, the Sparks, Cameron Brink, Rakea Jackson, and Kelsey Plum. Very interesting. Is that for sure? Is that breaking news for sure? Because in some ways, she's been kind of going all over the place and meeting different people. She went and met with the Lynx, and they made it look like they were going to sign her, but they were just trying to influence her. And then I heard the rumor yesterday about the Sparks, but I've also heard the rumor about her coming to us. Now, unless it's official for sure. Now, here we go. There's news on the breaking news. Josh Lundberg, 19 minutes ago, has said that the Raptors have waived Tyreek Key. They'll be able to convert one of their two ways, AJ Lawson or Elijah Martin, to a standard NBA contract before the end of the season, making them playoff eligible. That sucks, man. I hate that Tyreek didn't actually get in the game, but hopefully AJ Lawson is going to be converted and he'll be on the Raptors playoff roster, which is a really big win and absolutely the right move to do. It's not going to be Martin. Anybody who thinks it's going to be Elijah Martin, you're kidding yourself. It'll be AJ Lawson who gets that. So, yeah, I'm sad for Tyreek, but you did technically make it up. But, yeah, it sucks, man. As Blake Murphy's put this way, Tyreek Key is going to be a phantom Raptor like Justice Winslow. He was on the team, but he never actually played. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. I hate that. I wish that they had just stuck him in there for a second and done that. Oh, they came out with the Toronto Tempo's court in the last couple days, and I didn't really mention it. You guys can check it out on our Discord. Trevor Jay shared with us the court and what the Toronto Tempo's court's going to look like, and it looks fantastic. It's got the tower on it, and it's got the nice Bordeaux purple, and it's just a really cool court. So they did officially unveil the Toronto Tempo's official court that they're going to be playing on at Coca-Cola Coliseum for this WNBA season. It's exciting. We've got a court, and it looks cool. Yeah, I haven't heard anything for sure on NECA. So I will. You're saying that's for sure? I don't know. I don't have official results. I'm not going to believe it. No, I don't believe it, Fiercey. She's going to be on the Tempo. Kaloy saying this, if we played like last night, I think we can beat anybody. We need to prove this hypothesis by beating New York tonight. If Brandon can keep this level of play going into Madison Square Garden tonight, and maybe he can look like Siakam that one time when he went to Madison Square Garden and dropped 50 on the Knicks. Yeah, we could definitely show something at a new level if Brandon's going to be playing at this very, very high superstar tier level that he showed last night. Anything's possible when Brandon's playing at that high level. Seriously, anything's possible. We could go and win the championship this year if he can consistently play like he played last night in the rest of this playoffs. It's very difficult to do. It'd be very tiring. It would be very, very amazing if he could do that. But it is plausible. He could. It's not likely. But, man, if he could, that would be so amazing. Church of Abdullah is here. Yeah. Good morning, and thank you for the subscription to the channel. How have the Raptors flew under the radar this far? Well, there's a lot of contributing factors that add to this. The fact that the US media doesn't want to cover us or talk about us on the state side makes this a mystery to a lot of Americans that follow the game. Also up here, it's a very hockey crazy country with the media, so the Raptors don't get the best coverage in Canada itself because it's really NHL heavy. So, they get flown under the radar because there's not a lot of exposure in weird ways. But the funny thing is, the Raptors have a very voracious, very healthy, very vast, widespread fan nation that would love all this content. In fact, that's some ways that's why this channel is successful to a degree, because there's Raptors Nation is crying out for really good Raptors kind of stuff. And the media forces just don't give it to us exactly right. And it's sad because up here in Canada, they should, but there is a looking down on basketball to a degree across Canada for hockey. And that holds the exposure of the Raptors down on this border. And then on the other side, they don't want to talk about us in the States. So nobody down there is actually well informed about the Raptors, and we fly under the radar. This is classic. This happens every year. It's not like a one-time year thing. This has always happened. When the 2010s, when DeMar and Kyle were kicking ass with Coach Casey, they would not give us any credit, and they would always act surprised when we were so successful and being a factor in things. So this is just par for the course. I appreciate your comment and your question. How have they done this? This is just normal. This is normal. It's a normal everyday kind of every year kind of thing for us. Kareem saying this: the absence of Yak sped Colin Murray-Boyles' progress exponentially. In some ways, I'd say that's true. I don't know if it's he got more opportunity, he got thrown in the fire, and he had to start more because Yak was out, and that was probably good for him. You're probably right, Kareem. That the Yak being out, the silver lining of the dark cloud of Yak being out for us was Colin got extra development time and meaningful minutes and starters kind of role, and that's good. That's very very good. That's a good point. Fiercely saying happy birthday to Smooth. I like that. Yeah, Kaloy saying happiest birthday to Smooth Brown Man. And Blackhawk saying happy Earth Strong Day, Smooth. And Smooth saying, wow, thanks. I forgot the birthday list. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you told me and I know when your birthday is, we're going to bring it up. You can't hide it. You're going to get your birthday put on blast on this channel for the rest of its existence because you're just in there like that. You're a Raptor Freak trivia champion. So you're in the history books. So we definitely got to celebrate your birthday like this. That's right. That's right. Monique is here. Super fan Mo. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Happy game day. Let's beat the Knicks. Congrats, Darko. Yes, BI. CMB, thanks. Solid, amazing game for the prayers. Keep them coming. Yeah. We're praying for whatever your family's dealing with right now, Monique, and hopefully everything's going to come out all right, and there's going to be good things happening. Yeah, for sure. We are thinking about you. Our thoughts and prayers are for you and the Lawrence family, for sure. For sure. Monique, always happy to see you live in the chat in the morning. Let's see. Neil's saying this. Just like Colin, there is another first-round pick for us to take our defense further next season. Steinbeck, Lendenborg, or Morez Johnson Jr. would give us more defensive size and aggressive offense off the bench. I don't know who any of those guys are. We haven't been doing any of this scouts of the day because we've been so busy with the Raptors playing well and being a part of winning and postseason that we have not been doing scouts of the day like we normally would have done for 4 months since January. And so I don't know any of these names. I'm going to really be kind of blind to the draft this year. And in some ways, maybe I won't have a recommended list for Bobby because I just don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And there's no reason for me to tell him who to draft if I didn't do my homework, right? I don't know any of these guys. Should I do one of them right now? I mean, you didn't even give me their full names except for Morez Johnson Jr. So I'll go look at Morez Johnson Jr. This is going to be the scout of the day. Morez Johnson Jr. We'll go look at him on Wikipedia, and I'll give you my first scout ever of a player I've never seen before in my life. Okay, this guy's on Michigan, so he just played in the college championship game. Morez Johnson Jr. is 20 years old. He's 6'9", 250 pounds, and he's from, it looks like he's from Illinois is where it looks like he's from. And he's played for Illinois and Michigan. He's an NCAA champion as of a couple days ago. Yeah, he's also played for USA basketball under teams and won 2 gold medals for Team USA. He is a 4-star recruit, not a 5-star recruit. All right, let me go look at a highlight reel of him on YouTube. You're getting the scout of the day. Some people do music reactions, like our good friend Sue. And then some people, and this channel, we do basketball reactions. As far as I'm looking at a basketball player, and I'm telling you guys whether I think the Raptors should get them or not. All right, Johnson Jr. Let's see if we get a highlight reel here. A short one. We don't want a big, long one. All right, here we go. This is against USC. I don't know if this is the game they just played. So he's the big man. There's a dump off to him. He attacks and comes up and under with a reverse layup. That's not bad. He looks like he's got some pretty decent size. His shoulders could be a little bigger. Maybe I like his wingspan. He's got a lot of up and under kind of like fake moves. So he's got some footwork, and he looks like he's a pretty savvy guy finishing with contact or traffic around him. I don't know. So far, everything I'm seeing is down low, and it's very like the same as far as just putting the ball off the basket and kind of laying it in very high level. There's an easy play where he just got a dunk when nobody near him. There's a steal. I like that. He's definitely not got the same kind of hands as Colin. I don't know. In some ways, I would think that this guy may be not the right kind of player for us at the position we need. Because what I'm looking for in this draft is 2 things, Neil. I'm looking for a 3-point shooter, maybe like the best shooter. Like if we could get a really good shooter, that would be good, or just a straight up true center project. In some ways, we need to replace Shamshay, and we always need new center projects coming up in the organization, so that we have that filled more and more as time goes on. And I feel like a center project like we missed out on last year with people like Niederhauser and Renault and people like that, we should have got one of those guys last year, I honestly think. But if we could get one this year, just to kind of have a center pipeline so that, we have some help just in case down the road. Koloko, Shamshay, these guys were taken away from us. We need to replenish those guys. And then 3-point shooting. Those are the 2 things I really want. This guy looks like another power forward, long arm guy, just like Colin and Scotty. We don't need him jamming things up for us in that way. We got Colin and Scotty. We don't need it. If we were drafting the way we were drafting with Bobby and Masai like 5 years ago, sure, we go get this Morez guy. The other thing we got to remember is the guys who played in the championship and played in the tournament and got all this press, in some ways they're overhyped. And they're a little bit more overvalued because of the prestige of the spotlight of being at the end of the tournament. There's a big talk about this, that like often, we put so much value on these guys because they're so high profile, but there's actually way better players than them that didn't get as much profile, and that you should actually look at them instead. In fact, they can be more bust-like in the NBA just because you thought, oh, they're so good because they got the Final Four or they won the championship in the final game. So I always worry about that too. So my number one priority is 3-point shooting. That's obviously the biggest need for the Raptors right now. So if we can draft a sharp shooter in the first round of the draft this year, that would be fantastic. If not, I'd like a center project in the second round. Those are kind of the 2 things on my wish list for the Raptors in the draft this year. Yeah. Let's see. Iron Man FC is saying this. I said this before. We have a very good team. Because of injuries, we weren't able to show it on a consistent basis. But one thing for sure, we will cause problems for any opponent we face in the playoffs. I think this is true. And there could very well be another level that we switch up to when we're fully locked in and very much dedicated to the sacredness of winning basketball, like Brandon Ingram has been the last 2 games. There is a whole other level. And this is what Iron Man's talking about. In some ways, we are dangerous, especially if Brandon's going to play like he did last night. We are dangerous, very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Neil's saying, yes, injuries played a factor as well as discipline. Next season will be better because we have a solid 9, a good first-round pick. There's no guarantees on first-round picks doing anything, trust me. Encouraging off-season in Summer League. Woohoo! Yeah, I mean, I like where we're at, and I like our youth, and everything in its order. You guys keep talking about the offseason. Man, we got games to play. And this was part of the folly of the play-in loss with DeRozan. Everybody's thinking about the offseason too soon. Man, everything in its right order.
We have the Knicks tonight, the Nets on Sunday, and then we're going to have the playoffs. And I'm not worried about first round picks or drafts or the offseason and retooling this team until it's right order of things. Everything in its right order. And the right order is regular season, 2 more games, playoffs, and then we'll think about the offseason, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. Medved Ted saying rookie year, Kawhi averaged 7.9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist in 24 minutes. Colin is averaging 8.6 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.9 assists in 22 minutes. That's an interesting comparison. In some ways, I don't know if Colin will ever become the offensive player that Leonard is. But, I think that the defensive stuff that Leonard does, yeah, he already kind of does it, and he could go even further with that. But the offensive stuff, that'd be tough for him to fully become like a Leonard or a Brandon Ingram kind of player in some ways. You know what I'm saying? In some ways. Kenny's saying Mitchell looked good against us, but I'm okay with Shed. Yeah, Mitchell's awesome, and I'm glad he's on the Heat. But yeah, Shed's the younger guy and he's the protege. And that honestly, Shed was so advanced that allowed us to move on from Mitchell after a half season. And that says a lot about Jamal Shed. Let's see. Superfan Mo's saying, keep up the great streams, Lex. I appreciate it. You're the wind beneath my wings, Monique. And I make my content for people like you. That's right. Hello, Fifth Seed. And Neil saying, all the way, Mo. Yeah. When you were wondering, teams go with 6'8", 6'9" so much, keep in mind the majority of 7-footers are injured at a high rate. Best bet on availability, that's 6'8" to 6'9". Yeah, but I still don't like how Jakob Poeltl is the singular person on our team that gives exactly what he gives. And I would like to just at least get somebody like a Luke Cornett or somebody like that. I get what you're saying, but there's got to be somebody that we can get just for insurance, for depth, because we're thin after Jakob for certain skills and duties that can be done, and most teams have 2 true legitimate centers on their team, and we need to, because as Sandro said in his interview the other day, what position do you play, Sandro? And he said, I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you figure that one out. So Sandro's not taking credit for being our second center, because he plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, apparently, which I don't know what 6 is. We should go ask Mamu what that is. And who's the center otherwise after that? No, we need another true center just for security and insurance. Insurance. We do need another guy that can do it and be a project coming up. Seriously. Yak's back is going to be an issue in different times. Well, we need this guy who can fill in that spot in some ways. Let's see. Jimmy's saying would be hella cool if they watch the stream, but in all honesty, hope they stay off social media. Well, they may want to watch some stuff. They may really be interested to hear people. Some of it's like pushing their ego, or maybe you get mad. Maybe they find out where the safe spaces are, and they're like, yeah, no, Raptor Streak's a good one. You could watch him, and he'll be kind of fair. He's not going to come in and just say out-of-pocket shit that's going to piss you off. You just listen to him, and he's kind of knows what he's talking about as far as basketball stuff. So it's like, yeah, he's safe to listen to. That may be what way it is. Like, they may check everybody out, and they may be like, oh, Luca, he's an asshole. Why the fuck did he say that, Luca Rosano? Oh, these Raptors Digest kids, they're immature. They really don't know what they're talking about. They're all about trading everybody. They may value a channel like ours because we aren't trying to trade everybody all the time and make up trade talks and dream trades and shit like that. That shit probably annoys them. We're more likely to covet them and protect them and say, no, we ain't trading these guys. And so who knows? Maybe they do kind of thirst for good content that won't piss them off. And maybe we hit that mark right here. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. I don't know. Y'all shout out. Let me know if y'all are watching somehow, some way. Just a little tip off to let us know. Seriously, that would be good. Neil saying this, Wiggins does not look depressed. Raptors just put 3 quick fouls on him, which tamped down his aggression. Raptors drew way more fouls last night, and that was the difference maker. Yeah, Neil's right. He's right on both of these things. I didn't see any depression from Andrew. Andrew seems fine. I mean, Andrew's got different things that has happened to him in the last couple of years. They're probably sad, like losing his dad. But I don't think he's that he didn't look at any more depressed than the coaches. The coaches look way more depressed. If you go look at the footage from them. Echo Beach is saying, thinking of giving up alcohol starting to make me feel awful physically. Plus, I struggle with depression and it doesn't help mentally. Listen, Echo, this is something that I know a lot about. And if you want to privately talk to me about this, I do this to help people all the time. In some ways, I don't want to put your stuff on blast, but you brought it here and put it here yourself. But know that I am somebody that's helped many people do this transition if you want. I can give you all kinds of advice. I am a sponsor. I have been in AA for 15 years, and it's something that I take very seriously. There's a lot of people that I've helped make this transition, and they're very, very much happier. I'm not going to say that just because you're saying this that you have a drinking problem, because I'm never going to judge anybody because I don't know. And in some ways, you know yourself best. If you feel like your life could be better if you cut back or you just quit, you're probably right. And I would say this to anybody who watches me. If you need help, you can reach out to me in ways that you can. If you have to find my email through the channel and send me an email, say, look, Lex, I do want to listen to you, or whatever you can do to help me, I will do it. And because I just want to change. Yeah, I'm good on this. If you want to be open about it, I'll do it on the show. But if you want to keep it more private, I can help you with this very much. Seriously. I've helped a lot of people in the last 15 years put down alcohol and find a better life. I'm not saying I don't know anything about you. I don't know what you look like. I don't know your real name. All I can say is if you think that you do have a problem and you want help, I can help you. I can help you personally. But whatever decisions you make, that's your own and your own life path, and you need to make them your own on your own. And if you really want to make that choice, well, there is help out there. Seriously. Seriously. Depression sucks, man. And when I quit drinking, I found out that I was a very negative person. I didn't even realize it. And some of it was feeding my alcoholism and being drunk and hungover all the time. I wasn't truly finding my true center and who I am. And it's a lot easier to be happier when you get past it, because there are natural things in alcohol that will do things to your brain that will make you have negative feelings. That's just part of the chemistry of it. And this change could be very profound and very life changing if you want to make it, seriously. But I don't know you. I'm not going to say you need to do anything. If you want to keep drinking and live your life, that's your right. But if you do want somebody to kind of help you out, or you want to try and do it yourself, but you may circle back and need help, however you want to do it. I've never been like a strict sponsor to say, because I understand the only way this happens is if the person actually wants to do it. You can't force anybody to quit alcohol. And if an alcoholic is deep in the bottle and they love it so much, they won't change unless they really want to. And nobody can tell them to change. But if you have that little bit of motivation to do it, act on it and go for it. Go for it. Seriously. And you've got my support in whatever way you need. Seriously. Seriously. And I know you're just a new person, but this is how I am. I want to be there for anybody who is facing this kind of stuff like I have in the past. Definitely. Definitely. I still face it to today, even though I'm 16 years in. Neil's saying this, Dylan Brooks teaching the league about Canadian history. Yeah, he's awesome. They had a little thing. Miami Heat put out a little clip in the last couple of days while they're in Toronto of like Andrew Wiggins teaching Toronto slang to the Heat players like Bam and stuff. He's like telling them mandem and cheesed and stuff like that. That was a cute little clip. They're kind of trying to figure out what Toronto slang is, and Andrew was teaching them. That was kind of cool. I like that. Neil's saying this, hip-hop transition from Jamaica, where entertainment was always locally made because you couldn't get the big-name entertainers to put on a show, so you hold a dance and toast over the mic. Cool. That aspect is something that I wasn't totally aware of. Hip-hop's such a urban thing, and I always thought that it came from the streets of New York. But obviously that makes sense that there's going to be kind of island roots that come with music and stuff like that. That makes sense. That makes total sense to me. Yeah, Kareem's saying happy birthday to Ahmad Rashad, a.k.a. I mean Smooth Brown Man. Well, you do that. That's right. You used to call him Ahmad Rashad all the time on the channel. I forgot you used to do that, Kareem. That was like a couple years ago. You were calling him Ahmad Rashad all the time. I remember that now. Yeah. And Jimmy likes my prayer today. There you go, Jimmy. You're an awesome contributor to this channel. Fiercely saying, NECA posted it on her IG and it's on ESPN. I would have liked to have had her with us. Oh, well. So it's official. She's going to be on the Sparks. All right. Well, I guess I don't have to learn her last name completely then. Aguamike. Yeah. Aguamike. Yeah. Yeah. Smooth saying thank you to the guys. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. Awesome. We love celebrating birthdays, especially when it was one of our own. Let's do the straight goods on Canadian goods, guys. Ribs. That's right. Look at this Swiss Chalet ribs right here. I'm going to make this today. You can get Swiss Chalet the home game. Did you all know that? Swiss Chalet the home game. Get it at your house. You don't have to just go to Swiss Chalet to get the pork back ribs. You can buy them like I did. And I'm going to make these later for my dinner. But yeah, Swiss Chalet is, of course, a Canadian restaurant. And this is Canadian ribs. So yeah, straight goods on Canadian goods. Swiss Chalet, the home game. You can get this. You don't get the little bowl to put your fingers in with the lemon water. Of course, you can make that yourself if you really want the true Swiss Chalet home game. Maybe, yeah, you can do that. Maybe get a little, make some of that nutmeg, that chalet sauce. I don't know why you use it because the sauce is already on the ribs. And that chalet sauce, sometimes I find that I don't even use it because sometimes it don't taste right, first of all. But second, I'll be dipping my fries in it and stuff like that instead of the chicken. And I'm like, I could put the chicken in the chalet sauce, but I'm dipping my fries in it instead for some reason. I don't know. There's no hard, fast rules about the Swiss chalet sauce. Is there? I don't know. But yeah, Swiss Chalet, the home game. Get it at your local grocery store and know you're supporting Canadian industry by supporting Swiss Chalet. Neil saying this, all three of those guys can shoot. Yaxel Lendenborg and Morez Johnson Jr. are not overhyped. The entire season is based on defense and they have multiple years in college. I know, but in some ways I'm not saying they are for sure, but we do need to be careful of this with the high profileness of the tournament and March Madness, that some guys a value gets inflated because of the platform and the spectacle. Does that make sense? I don't know for sure because I didn't watch any of this. I can't authoritatively say anything on an opinion about these guys because I didn't watch any of the March Madness. I didn't watch the championship game, so I don't know anything about it. In some ways, these guys come to the league totally blind to me, and that's why I don't give any respect to Cooper Flagg or other people like that, because I'm like, I don't care what you did in college. The NBA is where I care, and we'll see if it translates. So in some ways, we'll see. We'll see with these guys. In some ways, I have no basis to make an opinion on them because I hadn't watched them until just now. I watched Morez just now, and it looks like he's got good inside moves, up and under, some pump fakes, some good footwork. I didn't really see him shoot any threes though. And I did see him get a steal, but that was only one game highlight that I just watched. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Neil's saying, I'm not worried about these two games. We did what we said we will do, which is win games and get in the playoffs. We are there. Don't care that we need one more game. We are there. I profess it. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see us. We got to win the Nets game for sure. And we should be gold otherwise. In some ways, there's no do or die about the Knicks game tonight, but in some ways there is, maybe just for reputation and good feelings, but also at the same time, it's not the end of the world if we don't beat the Knicks tonight. But I'd like to. I'd very much like to. That's for sure. Fiercely is giving support to Echo on his statement just a bit ago. Uji Bougie saying, hey, everyone, I love and support all Raptor freaks. Glad to see the Raptors work to get the positive results we hope for. One more win seals 6, but I want us to get our last desserts against tonight. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I hate this streak the Knicks have been on. I hate the fact that Grady Dick's never beaten the Knicks his whole entire career. Grady Dick has never won against the Knicks. This is messed up. We need to change this tonight. In some ways, I don't even know if Darko's beaten the Knicks yet. Seriously, has Darko beaten the Knicks? I don't think he has. Darko's never beaten the Knicks. He got his 100th win last night. You graduated, get 101 in Madison Square Garden tonight. That's what I want to see. Great to see Uji Bougie. So many great new Raptor freaks coming in recently. I've really enjoyed the new infusion of new people in the chat. Neil's saying this. Those New Yorkers were from Jamaica. DJ Herc. There are many hip hop artists of Jamaican ancestry. It makes total sense to me. Makes total sense to me. Total sense to me. Uji Bougie saying phone's battery has been a mess last couple days, slacking in the chat, but I'm happy to catch these good vibes heading into the game tonight. Love and prosperity to all. I love it. He's got the Saturday Night Fever with the disco ball too. I love it, man. Uji Bougie, you're awesome. Very enthusiastic, positive Raptor freak. A great addition so far. Blackhawks saying, look in the history of the mixer too. I followed those guys before NCAA. Okay. All right. Yeah, we got to the end of the chat. This is kind of good because I'm at 3 hours. Holy crap. I do 3 hours like it's nothing at this point. I didn't think I was that long. Raptors Redditor of the day is Sev once again. CEV. He's a Pascal Siakam fan. And he's bringing up this note that's very important that if Jamal Shed plays the next 2 games, he will be the 17th player in Raptors franchise history to play all 82 games of the season. And this list is interesting. The very first person to do it was Tracy Murray in our second season. Then John Wallace, Vince Carter, Alvin Williams did it twice at our broadcaster. Morris Peterson did it 4 times, including 3 seasons in a row when he was an Iron Man from 2001 or 2002 to 2005. Matt Bonner, another broadcaster for the Raptors, is an 82 game Raptor. Anthony Parker, Carlos Delfino, Jose Calderon, Amir Johnson, Jarrett Jack, DeMar DeRozan twice, Grevis Vasquez, Terrence Ross, Bismack Biyombo, and the last person to play 82 games in a season for the Raptors, and this is crazy because the last season it happened was the year before our championship, is Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl has an 82 game season for us in 2017, 2018. Well, Shed is in line to do this. He has to play tonight and Sunday, and he'll be the most recent 82 game player for all 82 games in Raptors history. And that is in like almost 8 years we've had since that has happened. So that's fantastic. Go Shed and get it. And thanks to Sev, Raptors Redditor of the day, for bringing that to our attention. We did the birthday today already. It is Smooth. Smooth is the birthday of the day. And that is it. Okay, there is an update in the last 6 minutes from Blake Murphy about our injuries. Emmanuel Quickley, foot injury. Colin Murray-Boyles, neck strain. Trace Jackson-Davis, illness. And Chucky Hepburn, knee, are all out for the Raptors tonight in the back-to-back. So, and one win this weekend clinches the playoff spot. So in some ways, I guess we're not going to have our best foot forward. Bad pun with Emmanuel. With Quickley and Boyles are going to be out, guys. So yeah, no TJD, no Chucky, no Colin, and no Emmanuel now, unfortunately. So Emmanuel's not going to be playing tonight. I'd said the other day I'd rather Emmanuel play in New York than last night, but I guess they did the opposite. And Emmanuel will not be playing in New York tonight. And no Colin either. So this is going to make it easier for the Knicks to beat us without Murray-Boyles out there. So, yeah, that's updated news on the injury list right there. It kind of sucks, yeah. Mo Pete, my guy, I'm missing his jersey. You got to get that 24 back. That's right. Yeah, no Quickley tonight, apparently. Checking in on our fantasy league. HC has got that lead over Amit in the championship game. 957.5 points to 828 points. So it's looking like HC, with 2 nights of competition left, today and Sunday, is going to be getting that number 1 trophy that we just got sent in the mail from Trevor Jay that I showed y'all yesterday. And I'm in the lead for the 3rd place game over Kaz to get the 3rd place trophy. So it's looking like it's going to fall like this. Gold goes to HC, the one defeated. Amit Gaming's going to get silver. And old Lex, this guy's going to get the bronze this year in our fantasy NBA league for the season. Fantastic year. It was a lot of fun to play this year. Very competitive, very high-level teams. We had like 8 teams that were playing very high level in our league, and I'm very proud of it. And HC completely deserves this one. The one defeated, he'll be going 21-1 for the season and the weeks. Very, very, very impressive. Very impressive. Yeah, no Colin. That sucks. I hate that. All right, let me wrap it up. We're right at this time. Oh, yeah, let's do the classic card and get out of here. Get out, Lex. Get out. Yeah, we'll do this one. This is interesting. We'll see if you guys can figure this card out. This is a skybox card, and it's a Knicks card. We're playing the Knicks today. You guys can tell who that player is on the Knicks card right here. Maybe I'll show the back of the card. Do you know who that is? If you know the NBA, you should know who this is. This guy's still around the NBA, but not as a player, obviously. But if you know who this player is, full name answer, you get the classic card points of the day. That's the trivia points, and you can get your name on the trivia trophy. So, who is this player? Full name answer on the classic card of the day. Make sure you're live so that you can get the answer in if you do know. This guy is a current assistant coach in the league. He's been an assistant coach in the league since he retired, and he's been an assistant coach in the league for like 30 years now. Very prominent assistant coach. In fact, I'm surprised he still travels with teams and is still involved in assistant coaching right now. Let me see. Did somebody get it? And I just didn't see it. There you go. Smooth did get it on his birthday. Of course, it's the great Maurice Cheeks. Of course, he wasn't as well known for his time with the Knicks, but he was on the Knicks for a little while there. And wow, what a birthday present. Since it's his birthday, and what is Maurice's number? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give Smooth a bonus, big time point total because it's his birthday. Why not? Let's give him some love. I'm going to give you a 500 point card for Maurice Cheeks today. So we're going to jump up Smooth. Actually, we'll just do 300. 500 may be too much. So 300 points for Smooth on his birthday, getting the Maurice Cheeks classic card of the day. All right, let me do the quick wrap up and get out. It's 3 hours on the dot. The Raptors have just announced that Emmanuel's out, Colin is out, Trace is out, and Chucky is out. So it's very likely that Walter may start or shed in the place of Emmanuel quickly. So it's unfortunate he's out. On the other side of things, the Knicks are showing Tyler Kolek as their only person that may be out. He's day-to-day, so he's not even out for sure. So we'll have to see if he plays. The referees for tonight's game for the Raptors and the Knicks, Curtis Blair is the crew chief. He favors the Toronto Raptors. Sean Corbin is the next ref. He favors the Raptors. And Biniam Maru is the third ref. He favors the Knicks. So the ref crew is pretty good. Curtis Blair is somebody I trust, and he's mostly a pretty good guy. All right, Raptors, you don't want to get swept by the Knicks. In some ways, maybe we are going to lose tonight and get swept by the Knicks, but in some ways it won't matter in some ways also. But in some ways, we also want to build off of the great stuff we've done against Miami. So maybe there's no pressure, but fuck around and find out. Maybe you guys can beat the Knicks somehow, some way, with Brandon Ingram playing at the level he's playing, Scotty Barnes elevating his game also. This is the jersey they're playing tonight. So if you want to match the team, it's the white jersey with the red chevron. Yeah. Yeah. Neil's saying, great. We heading towards a Raptors versus Knicks playoffs. Well, we'll just have to see. If we've got to play them, well, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And we'll just do our best and we'll see what happens. Who knows? You know, that's an opportunity to put out the Knicks in the playoffs. They expect everybody. Think about it this way, Neil. If we played the Knicks in the first round, everybody's going to expect them to beat us because they swept us in the regular season. A lot of pressure will be off of us. If we lose to them, well, everybody expected that. So in some ways, if we beat them and we mess them up, that's a huge failure for their team and setting them up for all kinds of problems this offseason. So this is a good opportunity, is what it is. And whether we fulfill that opportunity and we're successful in it, well, nobody expects us to in some ways. The Knicks are championship contenders. And we're a team that just rose out of the playoffs into the playoffs. And we got swept by them for this season. Well, not yet. We'll see if we can stop that tonight. So, yeah, Raptors, play your best tonight. Put your best foot forward and kick some ass. And maybe we can stop this winning streak the Knicks have been on against us. That would be good, man. Yeah. Neil's saying that's why they're hiding CMB tonight. I think he's beat up. He's beat up. He's got a shoulder injury along with the thumb injuries. And in some ways, he's a little bit more beat up right now. And it is a back-to-back, guys, and a travel back-to-back. So there may be reasons for why they've just decided this is the smart thing to do at this point, you know? Yeah, Kaloy's saying, sucks that Mr. Charles Rodman is out tonight. Now you're calling him Charles Rodman? You have to have some part of his name in there, you know? Because you say Charles Murray Rodman, at least. Whoa, we just had flicker. Ooh, I guess the powers that be like that. Charles Murray Broadman. All right, y'all, let's go Raptors and beat the Knicks tonight. Thank you, everybody, for a great stream today. I appreciate everybody. I hope you guys have a positive, fantastic day. As Nat Baudia would say, Raptorize your day. Get out there and do it like the Raptors would. And whatever you do in your job or your life, if you're going to do something, do it worthwhile and do it right, the right way, just like Brandon Ingram did last night on the court for the Raptors at Scotiabank Arena. Do it right. Raptorize your day and get out there and do it right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. They don't want to show the Knicks what they're going to get in the playoffs. Okay. All right. Yeah. You guys, I'm trying to wrap up. Stop writing comments. Let's go Raptors. Home game.